guys. I hope you all can hear me. Happy middle, I would say MF, but I'd probably get the first 5 minutes hacked. T-Fetch, let me get up here and say hello to people, guys. Sorry, I've been in other streams. I've been running around. Just got home. We got Ground Fog, we got Hinder Collector, we got Brian Lord Needham, my hero, Robert Douglas, we've got channel member Ginger Fisher 75, we got Donald Milkovich. Welcome, buddy. Milinkovich. I'm dyslexic and ADHD, Donald, so I apologize. I just want to Milinkovich. Is it Milinkovich? Good to see you, buddy, and welcome. Paul Mills, channel member. My brother, Semper Fies, he got Vinny. How are you, buddy? I hope you're around, man. We need to get together and rally and go pop holes in paper. Pretty Flopper and Knife Guy, channel member. What is up, brother? Jim Miller, channel member. What is happening? I talked to T-Fetch earlier, but I want to talk to him again. What is up, my man? And we've got Neil McKenzie, channel member here. Awesome. Neil McKenzie, I won't talk about the one more anymore, but I think they do an absolutely fantastic freaking job. And I looked for every reason to hate it. And the funny thing is, all I did, because I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon, because I try to bring you guys things that I think are good values. And more importantly, I'm a knife addict. So I like to grab things that I can get on Prime, that I can get in a couple of days that aren't going to cost me much money, right? So all I did was I went in Amazon, and you guys, if you search F and Grow, because Therapeutic Edge had posted one of the big ones, because I went ahead and got a different one to see if it would be as good. This one happens to be 14C. I'll tell you the number in a little bit. I don't know it right offhand. But Peter had a big one. And it made me, so I searched F and Grow titanium knife, and that damn thing came up. So, of course, curiosity killed me. And I did a video today where I totally take responsibility for contributing to that problem. Any hate that's directed at me for that, I totally accept it. I understand. I don't take the stand that I think it's okay. Good evening, Craig Wilkes. But there is more to the story because we don't know. What's up, Chris? I don't know if they've got some kind of gentleman's agreement. Who knows? Probably not. But, you know, I would think that Jeff Bezos, if I'm an Amazon shopper, you know, I know it's not the right thing to do, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but it is a banger. What's up, Marco, channel member? We've got Doofus in here. Drufus. Welcome, Drufus. Tempest knives on AliExpress. Hey guys, you know, I'm not familiar with that, but I'm all for learning about new shit. What's up, El Cap Addict? Good to see you, brother. Let's see who we got in here. NFK20, my nuts for now, buddy. Good to see you, man. I hope you're having a better day today. Dang Ross, what is up, channel member? Drufus, I'm going to go back and get that link in a second, that name. We'll talk about it. I'll pull it up here. I'm just trying to get through before I get behind. Chito Bendito, a.k.a. Soggy Chito, channel member, and my brother, Acid Test Kids. My brother, what is up? And a channel member. Good to see all of you here. Monday nights is kind of it's kind of a juggling act. Never really know if Pocket Metal's going to have a deadline or something he's trying to meet. He'll probably pop in tonight. I don't know, but I always told him that since it's his gathering hour, 2, 3, 4 hours, however long we hang, Roman M, what is up, that I would make sure that I hung, because I enjoy it. I love being here to chat with you guys. What is up, Ed, channel member? Thank you, and good to see you. Fit a bit. Good morning, my friend. He's probably, well, I wouldn't say he's probably the furthest in the future, but let me go back and grab that company that Drufus was talking about. I'm in the background, so I'm not ignoring you guys. If anybody's talking to me, I just don't see it. I'm about to come back, though. I'm back for a second. Timpist. Guys, I don't know which of you, how many of you, if any of you got in on the, all right, these look clony, but I might not be looking at the right thing. This is the Growler for V2, and I have and have been a fan since I had it of the Growler V1. As far as debug knives goes, and Kevin knows this has been my favorite design that they did. I do not own or have not gotten a stout. I do have a pony stout, and I like that knife. But this knife spoke to me in the ergos because it kind of reminds me of my shadow in a weird way. It's got a real tall flat grind. So this is the old one, right? The complaint, there were some with bad detent or less than optimal detent. And mine's not as snappy as this, but it's mainly the size of that hole. I don't know if you can tell, but they shrunk that hole down considerably. So what would happen to me before I got used to it, I would get the hot dog down the hallway where I'd go to flop it and flick it, and my finger would get hung up in there, and then the blade sticks right there, right? So it was always, when I failed it, I felt like it was user error. And also on this one, I'm a big micarta fan. I was a fan of the clip, but it's flat. Again, it was their first version, so I get it. It was flat micarta, no jimping, and then a tall flat grind that I find to be one of the sliciest knives. I think I even had it as one of my sliciest budget knives because I rate knives under $100. In my opinion, I call them a value or a budget knife. I give special attention to those knives like the Migurin Moirel that are sub 50 that are awesome. They're still budget knives. It's not that I'm leaving them out. It's just that I'm, kind of looking at it the way I look at it. Because all my channel is, guys, it is not. There are so many great people, and I've got them linked on my channel, like Neves Knives, like Metal Complex, like people that can really dive in and tell you the guts. The way when I got in the community, the way that I was quote unquote influenced was watching a green pea, a newbie like Lefty, talk about knives. And Lefty and I joke, he hates knives that I absolutely love. But I got to know his personality and truly believe he's authentic, that I can tell even when he hates the knife, kind of why he hates it and if it's going to fit in my wheelhouse. Because, for example, my Ace Biblio has a super strong detent and it's stronger than I like. He would probably love it. So everybody's different there. But I get what I meant to say by that, where I was going with that, is my only goal is to buy the knives that I like. This is another one we'll talk about later that I bought because I liked it and I was curious. I like the Shark Lock, but I was very curious about that. It usually has yellow scales. It's a John Deere version, but I was surprised that these ship with the backup set of scales so you can swap them out before you get into their aftermarket world. But back to this. So we now have contour scales. We have some of the nicest weave carbon fiber that I've seen in a really long time, and my little camera doesn't do it justice. It's got the reversible wire clip. A lot of people aren't fans of wire clips. I happen to like it, but I can change it to a lynch. I've actually got a couple of lynches here. I think I've got one on my spider. Back on my dragonfly. But it's got a blue titanium backspacer and it's got blue pivot collar. The other thing I did is, what is up, Ian Coates, my brother from another mother? The other thing I picked up was the purple anode hardware kit. I actually was right there at 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. Grabbed the hardware kit first because I figured there wouldn't be many of those. I think I put it. I just did the unboxing today. Hold on. So I picked that up, which is the purple hardware kit with body screws, with pivot collars, with the back spacer, another wire clip, another set of bearings, really a complete hardware kit, but in purple instead of in the blue. And I told Lefty I got it because I liked it, and I will probably change it to do a video on it to see how easy it breaks down. Guys, I'm slamming coffee, so if my hand shakes, it's because I'm leaning too far and I'm jacked up on caffeine. But I'll probably switch it back to blue because I think the stock blue pivot and backspacer just looks banging. And the jimping on this knife, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. There you go. The jimping on that knife, I never missed it when it wasn't there, but I can appreciate it now that it is. It's not too aggressive, kind of warms your thumb, and it just gives you positive traction all the way up to where that point clips or drops, however you want to look at it. I look at it kind of as a clip, but I think that's also subjective. I think we can make up blade shapes from time to time. But anyway, Growler V2, I've only put it through 6 hours of being in my pocket and cutting paper. So I'll do a review in a week, 2, because usually once I take it apart, change out the back spacer, which I'll film in the hardware and use it, opening some boxes. Guys, you know that. I don't do much more with my knives. I don't know if y'all saw my short today, but I hacked down a piece of bamboo. Did anybody see that? Kyle Coonley, Mayor Salt, channel members, Ed Harrison, what's up? Did y'all see my chopping video today? If not, I'll show it to you. Because I was impressed at how quick my shed knife chopped through this honking bamboo. And I think I can show my own content and not get in trouble. I don't want to share. There you go. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's not letting me go back. I'll let you watch the game. That knife is under 8 inches long. It's this little guy right here, the Resilience by Shed Knives. So it's a small little EDC fixie, but it's almost a 1/4 inch CPM 154. And his 2024 line, he's increased the height of the grind. It's a hollow grind. And I think they're going to be even cooler with the taller hollow grind. But that is me. He's very uncoordinated, packing this piece of bamboo that had kind of grown out of the patch into my yard. So anywho, that was one of my first action movies. The reason I show that is I use my knives to open packages, to cut fruit, to open letters from time to time. I do have a little hobby. Mike McLaughlin, channel member, what is up? Oh, I know, dude. April 1st, I learned when I started renting this house 3 years ago. April 1st is when they throw the shoots out. And I wasn't aware of that the first year. And they grew up about 20 feet out from my bamboo forest. And I had to go out and pull them up. It was a nightmare. But the reason I was saying that and showing you guys that is I don't use my knives as hard as a lot of people do. When I showed that knife that I'm not going to talk about anymore, what impressed me about it is if I was a guy who was working a hard job and I didn't have or didn't know about another company and I did what I did and searched titanium Ethan Grow and saw that knife and thought that would be a good work knife, I would say, hell yeah, it's a great work knife. It's a copy or a reinterpretation or a clone. It doesn't have any It's not pretending to be anything else. I'm going to quit talking about it. But a knife like this, a knife like TKL is another. Where's my little? I've got several of these that I picked up. These guys are in Georgia, but they make these little knives. And if you know American Blade Works, if you've seen one, their grinds are done by a series of lines in the grind that get smaller and smaller by CNC. So when you look at this close, it looks like a little stair step pattern. But guys, this is so sharp and it's so little. And I've always been an ulti-clip guy, but when I bought this, I got this what's called a deep concealment or a concealed carry clip. And what I can tell you is it is lighter. It retains just as assuredly. How can I get these two where you can look at them side by side? It works just as tight, and you don't have to pop it. If you've ever popped an ulti clip, that can kind of be a pain. They're real stiff. But this little guy, which weighs probably half of the ulti clip, goes down over your pants. And then I don't know if you can see that hook inside there, a little metal hook bent up, hooks under your hem, and it's got this thumb ramp like all TKL knives do. I don't know if you can see that at that end of the Kydex. It's got jimps, like about 6 jimps, which when I've got it, I carry this in my back pocket, and all I do is reach back there, pull it like that. It's a little, I think, 5 3/4 inch knife. I want to say I paid $120 for it. Just an absolute winner. And then if that's too small for you, this is smaller than my SE3. This is about the size of my Guardian. This is the TKL. And again, these are made in Georgia, one state over from where I am. This is called the Raider. The reason I'm showing you both of these knives is they're both available now. They're finishing up a batch and they've got reservations, and then they'll drop what they've got left. But this has got the same stair-stepped grind, which I don't know if I'm explaining that right. But if you've ever seen American Blade Works or a Nordsman, how the grind steps down with CNC concentric lines. But this is a handful. I carry this with an ulti clip in my back pocket too, because I want to say it's a 3-inch blade. It's about the size. Let's see how it compares to the Growler, so you guys can get an idea. It's a little bit shorter than our Growler, just by about a 1/4 inch. Let me get that. Greg Vanderlip. What is up, guys? If I get to talking about stuff, Matt Szymanski, did I get that right? Or is the S silent? Is it Zizmansky or is it Szymanski? Good to see you, man. But yeah, it's these knives and and I'm probably talking to a bunch of guys and gals, if there are any gals, but a bunch of guys who are just like me 6, 7 months ago, where I could care less about fixed blades. I never thought. Let me look, Grant. Let me check, brother. I'm gonna have to walk over and grab my phone. Give me 5 minutes. If I don't grab my phone in 5 minutes, remind me, and I will go look at it. I've not been over there by it, but do remind me in just a second. I'm gonna walk over there because I might need to pick up a knife anyway. But so the reason I was saying that, I don't want to bore you guys with fixed blade content, but all I would urge is as you go through this hike through life that includes knives, keep an open mind, because I swore I would never buy or have any interest in a slip joint. I would have bet you $10,000 that I might buy an SE3, but I would not own 40 small fixed blades that I carry interchangeably every day. I would not ever imagine that I would carry 3 knives a day, a primary fix in my right pocket, a slip joint either in a slip or on a clip, like my Surge razor in my left pocket, and then a fixie around my neck, or clipped in my back pocket, or in my clip holster if I'm wearing 511s. Joe Kaspernick, what is up, buddy? Colin Kennedy. I missed you via text earlier, I think, in that other chat. But so yeah, all I say by that little rant is keep an open mind, love what you love. Top Dog, welcome. Love the knife that you love. That's all that's important. What you individually like are the coolest knives out there because they inspire you. So that's the whole gig. But don't don't do what I did and be vocal about ragging your buddy Lefty that slip joints were for old men when you're an old man and you fall in love with slip joints and you get your first GEC after getting your first Jack Wolf and they multiply, both of them, like a fucking grim turned into a fucking monologue. Jim, don't you love that spew, buddy? I think that is the stabbiest, sliciest, greatest little knife. Very economical. I want to say that knife was $35. It was one of the first fixed blades that I bought. I mainly carried it around my neck, but it was real early in my knife career. Those knives are special to me. Those ones when I gave away for like those 10 shows, those were all kind of my first knives that I've seen. I don't think I saw the spew talked about, but like the penguin, man, I held on to that knife forever. Almost wish I had it to compare to my slip joint that I just got, which I love. This penguin slip joint, I don't like it as much as the hedgehog because it's not a hollow grind, and for the same money, I can get a micarta hedgehog, which to me is a little better, in my opinion. If you've got a bigger hand, this is definitely better. But they both have great springs. Um, they're awesome. I mean, they're just awesome. But those knives stayed in my collection when I was not carrying those knives anymore. But when I tell people, use your shit, quote unquote, it's just as important the guy who watches live streams, flips his knives on a table at a house because it's giving him pleasure, to that guy, like said Stevie, who is my brother and who I love, who's batoning Mordaxes in the woods. And I say that as a total joke. I know he's not in here, but if he is, he would chuckle and he'd probably be like, that motherfucker. But no, using your knife is how your knife makes you feel, in my opinion. In my opinion and what my channel's about, it's not specs, not hardness tests. I'm glad that they're friends of mine, friends of yours, community members who focus on that. It takes that, right? It takes a bunch of people getting their own niche of a hobby so that we as consumers can go in and pull out. Is my audio choppy? Still choppy? I can't monitor it from here. I don't know how to. Let me know if it's shitty, because what I can do is I can pop out. Oh, I got to send Brandon a link. Hold on a second. Let me go get the phone. That's a whale. Audio sounds good. Thank you, Matt. The only reason I say thank you is because I don't know how to fix it. I'm a digital marketer by trade, currently a free agent, but send Brant a link. But what I want to know from you guys, and what I'm going to tell you guys that I carry, all right, we got Carrie. Mackenzie read my mind. A CRK N16, 10K SF. I don't know what that is, but I need to learn. Gerber USI, a tiny sog on a keychain. Is that the thin one that looks like a money clip? And CRKT M16 in its backpack. I've got one of those money clip sogs. Jim, mine's not either, buddy. I bet I've got you by 5 years. Dean Griffin, channel member, welcome. So what I carried today was my Griffin. Where the fuck did that come from? Ian Coates. Hold on, guys. Nobody else put up your carry. Are you telling me you carried a 3V bailout and a Bexar today? There is something distinctly missing from your carrying, young man. I'm not reading that right, Emma. I'm proud of you. That's the first step. It sounds muffled, Ed. Well, I turned it down the other day. I don't want to make it too loud. Let me kill the music. That's the first thing to do. Let's kill the music. I want you guys to have good sound. That lower level. Good for you, Ian. I knew you carry other stuff too, buddy. I'm just giving you a hard time. And in my left pocket, on top of my growler, which I didn't carry the growler until about 2 o'clock when it came, I was carrying the Andrew Demko 20.5 version 2 that we'll talk about later and compare it to a clip point Demko. And I carried my Feel Good jack, which I think are the best modern folders made. I think, Brian, I just think Ben has killed it. But that's my opinion. And I bought these. I told everyone on live streams, mind you, not 6 months, not 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago, that I would never brand. I've not sent you that goddamn link. I swore I'd never have a Jack Wolf. I'm not buying a almost $300 slip joint. Are you kidding me? The first slip joint I bought it at 2 o'clock in the morning. You probably know this story. I had taken Ambien. I was asleep in some kind of weird hypnotic state, have no memory of it. Woke up to a confirmation from Traditional Pocket Knives. I'd ordered a Ohio River Jack, great knife. Started the whole addiction. Ordered a Ohio River Jack, sheep's foot, and start looking at my invoice because that's what the first knowledge I had of buying this knife about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I used a code. I used Lefty 10. I think he was practicing black magic, guys. I think he influenced that decision through his evil, dark magic ways that he covers up. I mean, it's just, but anyway, so I went back to Traditional Pocket Knives after realizing that I'd ordered a slip joint and started looking at them closer and looked at the Hedgehog, the QSP. Again, one of my first knives that is a banger to this day was the QSP Penguin. But this QSP Hedgehog had one thing that the sheep's foot that was not even to me yet did not have. And that was a hollow grind and a little pokey point. I could have gotten this knife for $55 in micarta. I chose to get it for like 89 in carbon fiber. I got it at White Mountain Knives, put in a 10% discount. At the time, it was Lefty 10. Always use my code now, Javon 10, and I'd love it if you guys do. God is my witness. I get nothing, and I want nothing for that. You guys get 10% from White Mountain. All it does, it's a way for the store or the maker to track if traffic is coming from my site, if it's coming from Tri-State's site, and mix them up. I mean, give everybody love. I'm not asking for all your love, but I do appreciate it. And I don't appreciate it because of ego. I don't appreciate it because I have any financial gain. I don't get free knives. I have nothing to gain from it except I'm a digital marketer by trade. The reason I started my YouTube channel, before I get on a rant, about 10 months ago, I'd have to go back and look, maybe 12 months ago, was I had a customer who's in the promotion business, concert promotion, that had a YouTube channel. And I'm big into Google Analytics and all kinds of strategy and a lot. I don't even want to get into it, but I was not familiar with the YouTube analytical platform. So I did the research I could do, and then I had my channel because I set it up. If you look at my channel, it started in 2010, and I've got them private now, but there were 3 videos of my daughter and her 5th grade class doing what now I look as what those podcasters that go out and do pranks do. It was kind of like that. They did it at a Sonic, but I'm getting off point. Anyway, the reason I got into YouTube, it's not that I've got links because I benefit from it. It's just I'm a digital marketer, and I think it would be cool if Justin saw that people are using Javon 10, so that's a good thing, and I just, maybe that is ego. I don't know. I think it's just showing value in what I show would be ego. So yeah, I'm ego, but I'm not an egomaniac. So anyway, this knife and the Ohio Riverjack. Now, I've not seen the new one. There's a new Ohio Riverjack coming out. These were my first 2 slip joints. Again, I ordered this one on sale for $125. I think it's lower now. And then went back and got the QSP Hedgehog, which these knives are interchangeable in terms of if I was going to buy one. You're getting basically same size knife. This one's less expensive. This one is 14C28N. This one's M390. And this is going to upset a lot of steel people. There's nothing I'm going to cut with my slip joint. And I've got a lot of M390. I've got S90V. I'm a steel snob. I will pay extra for that because I appreciate the steel, but it doesn't affect the fact that I can cut more weenies or cut more apples because my life doesn't require that. But this has a deep hollow grind. So first thing I know, because before lunch, I'd ordered this. So I had 2 slip joints on the way. And then, what was my 3rd slip joint? My 3rd slip joint might have been the Boker that I think Smoky Mountain Knives still has their special series of Boker slip joints on sale. But I think it was a Boker Barlow. I'm going to quit this story because I know it forced everybody to tears. But it was actually the club. It wasn't the Boker. This is the Barlow. It was a Boker, but I've got 3 of these knives. This is a series of knives that are Smoky Mountain Knife exclusives. Copper, dark wood, pins construction. This is a real traditional knife, right? This is not a modern folder. This is a traditional, like one of my Great Eastern Cutlery, just less expensive. And this whole series, all shapes, were on sale for $99 when I bought them. They're $72 now. And they originally were like $170 because they're nicer Bokers, tool steel. So anyway, I had a slip I bought from Lefty. The slip that was in my pocket today before Lefty's Devo came, this slip right here, this Lancelot leather slip. I had this slip, and Lefty being Lefty, when he sold me that, he included a Troy Northwoods leather slip that he did not use, right? So I've got a predicament. I've got 2 slips and I've got 3 slip joints. So any normal person would have either put a slip joint in their pocket or gone to Etsy or to somewhere. I wanted to go economical, so I went to Etsy and bought a slip, except I was new to Etsy and I didn't know the difference between a US company and getting a slip quick, like in a week, and an overseas company, particularly Ukraine. So long story short, I chose the Ukraine company, and the quality was fantastic. But I want you guys to see the humor in the ignorance of my decision. I'm trying to get you one of those slips. You can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's one of these. Good slip. Nothing like Joe makes, but you can choose your leather color and you can choose your thread. But the trick was they were $10 each if you bought two, which made it $20. And that sale of $20 included a third slip. So me being the budget guy, which was really my addict brain tricking me, because remember, I'm an addict. Whether I exercise that on knives or heaven forbid, go back to drugs, right? I'm an addict. So now I've got 3 slips inbound, 2 knives that are slip joints that already have a slip, and 1 Boker that's slipless. So that's going to leave me 2 empty slips sitting around. Does anybody see the irony in that and what that did to a knife addict? If you're going down a rabbit hole and you put a weight around your neck, like buying 3 slips when you only have 1 knife that needs them, that's foreshadowing. I don't know if y'all remember what foreshadowing was in school. It's when you read something and they give you this little hint, right? You get this little hint that something weird's going to happen. And I knew something weird was going to happen. I was going to buy more slip joints. And to be honest with every single one of you, I love my slip joints. And at the same time, I'm humiliated that I have a collection of slip joints. This is a Max Ace Beetle S that is the thinnest. I mean, Ian, I would like to see this next to the Bexar. Do you know what the thickness of your Bexar is? Because this Beetle S by Max Ace is very traditional. The only thing weird about it, and I like it, but it's got this ratchety half stop where you've got a bunch of different half stops. You've got a full half stop. Like if I want to just go to half stop, I can, but it's got these little ratcheting areas is what I can kind of explain it as what it feels like. It feels like you're running through a ratcheting action, which I like. I mean, you can get it stopped at many positions, but the reason I got this knife is I'd seen it on somebody's channel. Every knife I bought almost has been because I saw it on one of y'all's or on somebody's channel. Ed, I love you too, buddy. You can give me shit all you want to. This knife, and I don't know how to read inches or thousandths. I would say this is 760 thousandths. Is that right? If it says 0.0760 inches. Is that 0.076? Does that mean, how would you say that? 0.0786. And that's in inches. I don't understand that. Let's see what millimeters do. How do I get to millimeters? And then we'll do something fun. I'll let you guys, if you want to roast Instagrams or if y'all want to go look at websites or if y'all want to talk smack. All right, here's millimeters. Autumn Wind. Long time no see, brother. So it's, if I'm reading this right, 0.0755 millimeters. That seems wrong. That seems too small. No, that's not inches. That's inches still. Hold on. Now it's millimeters. Maybe millimeters make it easy for y'all to understand the thinness. .95 millimeters. And just to give you guys an idea, The Devo Growler is 2.99 millimeters. So when you're looking at it objectively, and the reason I fell in love with this slip joint was it was Max Ace, and I've got several Max Aces in my collection that are very traditional, and Max Ace does not make traditional knives typically. They usually look really wacky. But look at that blade thickness or thinness. I can't ever get the camera right. Can y'all see that? That's next to the Devo Growler. But that is a little M390 laser beam. Mateo is another one of my brothers and a hero. So what I was going to show you guys, because I just spoke about it, and I don't know if I've shown you guys this, but have I shown you the Max Ace Meerkat? BE, EDC, what's up, brother? Welcome. Have I shown you guys that knife? Again, you know, Max Ace came out earlier this year. Driffish, you're right. You're exactly right. I was just looking at it the wrong way. I can see that. Ed Harrison, I totally understand it. And I think what started me out hesitant is when I was a kid, about 8 years old, my dad was into slip joints. And I used to spend time down in his study, and he would sharpen on an Arkansas whetstone. And he usually had pen knives that I remember, the knives that have two little blades coming out. Pocket. Sorry, Hinder Collector. See, I get sidetracked, guys. I am squirrel brain coming your way via text, brother. So a few years ago, or not a few years ago, not too long ago, I don't know if y'all remember the Black Mirror. It was the knife that came out from Max Ace. And Max Ace, I bought one of the first understated Max Aces because y'all have seen Bearded Dooms. But to me, that's pretty extreme looking for a pocket knife. And guys, this is one of the finest button locks in my collection. This thing is done so well. So I've always been a fan of Max Ace quality. I had a Sandstorm K in G10 liner lock, a big one before this, and I gifted it off. Somebody won it in a giveaway. But then when I saw this, I actually saw Jared D's video on it. And this is when I reached out to Blade HQ and then did my little nasty video talking about Blade HQ. And I still do not do business with Blade HQ because of that exact reason. But it's got fantastic lock bar access. It's titanium slabs with weight relief, titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip, M390 blade, delicious action, great blade shape and great blade geometry, fantastic sharpening choil, and it was $148. After Jared's video, it went out of stock for 16 hours and then came back in stock at $189. So what I did as a consumer is went to Max Ace's site in China to see if something had changed. Max Ace was still selling it for $148. At Chicago Knives, if they're still in stock, this knife's $125. So anyway, this is another side of Max Ace that I found fascinating, a budget side. So I happened to be on White Mountain Knives the other day, and I came across this knife. This is the Max Ace Meerkat, and it's a smaller knife, a gentleman's knife maybe. Ian, it's very good. Very, very good. And I'll be happy to share. Sharing's caring. But this is S90V. Jared said the clip is a deal breaker. The clip for me is not a deal breaker because I wear jeans. If I wear my 511s that have a very thick hem, I have to work it over the hem. But if I'm wearing my khakis or if I'm wearing my Levi's, I can use the clip. It's not an in and out one hand clip, but it's definitely not a deal breaker. Only because it's S90V, anodized hardware that's titanium, two nice slabs of titanium with weight relief. You can see the weight relief in there. Whoop. If I knew how to orientate my, I want to say this was $162. And I think these are still in stock at White Mountain Knives. And that's before you use Javon 10 and save 16 bucks or whatever it is. And you can get free shipping. So that's basically to your door. Howdy, Brant.
Howdy. And howdy, everybody in the chat.
Say howdy to Brant, guys. But the only thing different about this knife, and it's not even that different, it's just they chose a different font. And it shows how the smallest design elements can make a difference. Because this knife says the exact same thing. You can barely read it, but if you get up on it, it says, the only branding on it, it says Black Mirror Bowler M390. So it's got the blade steel and the name of the knife. Besides that, it's very sanitary. Oh, and it does have MagSafe on the clip, which sucks, but it is what it is. This one,
cool blade though.
they went with the thicker font that says the exact same thing. But to me, I wish they'd used like a golden font like they did before that kind of blended in, because that just says Meerkat and S90V or CPM S90V. But for under 160 bucks, now the lock bar access is not as pronounced on this one, but it has jimping. I don't know if you can see it on the lock bar side. Whoops, you've got jimping right here that makes it very easy to go in and get that lock bar. I don't have any issue getting it. Brant, did you see my video the other day? Very few people watched it, and I don't blame them, but it was a skiff bearing video where I changed out my Jurassic washers for.
I didn't get to watch it. I'm gonna watch it probably tonight. I'll watch it though.
Don't rush, because I'm getting ready to do my Medford Slim Midi.
Oh,
I've never taken the Medford apart. Now I've taken the Hinder apart a lot, but I can tell you on any tri-way system, if you go to, and I'll go to the site here in a second, because guys, I do have a code at Skiff Bearings. Again, I get nothing for it, but I reached out to Steve because ever since Lefty brought it to my attention, I've been putting them in knives selectively, and I've in all watched this compatibility chart grow. So if you go to Skiff Workshop and you go to their compatibility chart, you can basically scroll down by any knife design. Like I just got a Berg Blade Sweeney. So if I wanted the bearings, I would get the 5mm by 1/16 11 ball. And basically what they are, when you think, why would I want a bearing? Like if any of y'all got a growler, it came with extra bearings. But if you look at those are bent over to where you've got a flat side on one side and you've got a track on the other side where they're bent over. So when you look at these bearings, these are handmade or machine made in America. They're phosphorus bronze, solid. I would call this a washer, a solid thick washer with these press fitted ceramic bearings. So what it gives you, the action might not be absolutely better. I'll give you a good example. I put them on my my Urban EDC company F5.5, right? I put them on there and the action was just as droppy as it was before. But what it did, because it is a thicker and more stable bearing, i.e., you don't have a bent side that I always put towards the scale, and then I would put the flat side that looks like this towards the blade. So I'd have the balls and this side facing the blade, and I would have the track side facing the scale or the washer, the metal washer. But these are solid, right? And I'm surprised that there's so many Civivis because users are the ones that put them in. Because again, a pair of bearings is $11.99. That's not spit at money. That in this economy, you can buy a big good lunch for that. But if you've got a knife that may be not operating the best, I mean, you can get almost everybody's knife if it's on bearings is listed here. But the hinderers, Brant, what I was going to show you, everything except the fire track is 1/4 inch. So also, I'm going to stop sharing for 1 sec. So the 1/4 inch by 116 by 13 balls. So what's cool about these, Brant, that's what the bearing looks like that I put in the hinderer. And I don't have them out here. You know, they come with a metal, stainless colored with stainless balls in it, with steel balls. And these are ceramic, which are self-lubricating.
Yeah,
So
they're
I would really
very,
urge
very
you,
nice.
I would urge you to try a set for $12. It's worth throwing them in there because you can always take them out, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's one thing
And they
about it.
make a really cool thing that I picked up over at Skiff. Have these little bearing charts, which I didn't really understand how it worked. And with the hinderer, it was real easy because I had washers in the knife. So all I did was pull the bearing out of the bag, and you take it and you slide it through these holes, these horizontal holes. I don't know if you can see those, but
That's
like
pretty
it'll fit
cool.
through here. It would not fit through 3/16. It fits right through 1/16. So what that tells you from this template is the height of the bearing that you're looking for is 1/16. And then what you do is you take either the pivot of the knife, or in this case, I just took the hinderer bearing and laid it over to find out what the interior diameter was, and it was 1/4 inch. Now, if I have a track cut in that's very distinctive, I would be responsible, or I'd have to call Steve and he'd tell me. But you just would have to find out what that outside dimension is, right?
Yeah.
But I can, and the great thing is, if you just, because Demco 20.5s, every one of my Demco 20.5s, and I only have one out here to show you guys, Zach Stuff, howdy, buddy, are on skiff bearings.
Wow, that is
And
smooth.
what it does is the side to side is totally gone because there's no wobble in it.
Huh.
And I'll
Okay.
tell you the truth, this does not have skiff bearings. And I think the action on this Arcade, which is the new Flytanium knife, which is made, I'm convinced, it says Taiwan, but I'm convinced it's made side to side to this 80-20.5. This is S35VN, aluminum with G10 insets. They already offer titanium and other materials. And if you look at the shark lock, they're 100%, I haven't taken it apart, but they're 100% the exact same mechanism.
Huh.
So they're identical. So a lot of people don't like shark locks. I'm a fan. I've got 4 80-20.5s. And if you can see, one of them has gaps and one of them doesn't. Take a guess which one has gaps. The Demco.
Sure. Yeah.
And the blades, I was surprised because online they did not look at all the same. But when you go and you look at the profiles of these blades, they're identical. It just doesn't have a blade hole. And it's an S35VN. This is an aftermarket clip and aftermarket scales, of course, on this one. This is standard with aluminum and G10 or Ultim. I talked to a buddy today who got a black one with Ultim inset. And these things retail for $199. Think about
Yeah,
that,
I've
because
seen
those
those.
retail for $149 in FRN and OS 8 or K112. I think this is a good knife if you like the shark knife lock. My review hadn't come out yet, but I had been carrying it for about 4 days, part of the day, and it just feels substantial. I think if I take them apart, they'll look identical on the inside in terms of the scaling. Although I don't know if this has just, the Arcade does not have scaling. It just has the shark lock I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, a little. Yeah. Yeah.
Aluminum. It's aluminum scales that everything mounts to. The pivot goes
Huh.
through. But so it's a impressive knife. I didn't think I'd like it, and I was late to the party, so this was the John Deere edition when I got it. I don't know if y'all seen any of them, but it came with a yellow scale here, so it looked like a John Deere tractor. And I might put the yellow scale back in it, but I was on their site last night on Flytaniums, and they already sell back spacers in different colors. So they have all their scales are sold out, but they sell like titanium insets here. I say scales, they're really insets. I don't know if they're going to sell full scale kits. But I joked about this knife when I saw Flytanium was releasing a knife. Um, and I've had, again, just like the knife I'll never talk about again, my mind was very much, my expectations were exceeded with that knife.
Pretty interesting, though.
Jim Miller, are you out of here, buddy? Oh, you're back. Good, man. Josh Branson, how are you, buddy? I'm missing the chat. I apologize. I'll get on a rant, and I know y'all can't
It
scream at
happens.
me. I apologize. Enoch, channel member, Chris Hinkle, channel member, Josh 33025. I didn't mean to miss any of you guys. Bama Ninja Timmy, I think I talked to you. I know I talked to Donald because I don't know if it's Milinkovich, if I'm pronouncing it right. What you got, Brand? Have you picked up anything cool lately, or do you have your eye on anything?
No, I have my eye on the new XM24s that are coming out.
Are those the ones that have been dropping selectively?
Yeah, they've been coming out, and I've been wanting a Battlefield pickup one.
Just to because you collect it. To me, the knife's a little big, but you're a little bit bigger guy than me.
Yeah, it's they're good knives. It's a 4-inch blade. I mean, if you want to get a 4-inch blade on you, then yeah, they're good.
So it's full size, horsey size. I mean, my buddy's got a Bowie, but
Basically, yeah.
I don't handle it that much. But again, I like a big knife. This knife right here, this other Effing Grow that I picked up off Amazon to see if their other knives that didn't look like somebody else's knives were good. This is the EF 905 in 14C28N. I carry this, and this is as big as my 4 Max.
Holy mackerel!
Let me show you.
That's a big one.
Get to it. Well, it was in Amazon. It was a big mess. I won't talk about it, but I picked up a different Effingro first that looks like a Strider. But this is a $69 knife because it's in 14C. But it's a full-size knife with 2 solid pieces of titanium, no milling, no weight reduction. I kind of like it like that. And a big, thick 14C 28N blade. So again, if I was giving one of my worker buddies who didn't believe in spending over $100 for a knife that I thought they would be pleased with, that would hold up, that they could dig with, that they could pry with, that they could use as a work knife because they're not knife people. They're just asking advice on a tool. This is a good knife. It locks up very soundly. I haven't beat on it like I've beaten on this clone looking one, but I am going to put this through some beat tests to see if it gets any wobble. But I hate to recommend a knife from a company that in the past, I believe in redemption. So if it's a good knife, I think I'd be doing everybody a disservice if I bought it because I liked it, found out I did like it, and didn't share in a very open way that you guys might not want to support this company because they've done questionable designs before that Jeff Bezos still allows to be sold on the site. So if you don't know better, you might buy one. The difference is I knew better and I bought one anyway, so I'm guilty. But this looked kind of unique. Can you talk about the fixed blades we were chatting about earlier? Rob's Nerdy Knives is here. Guys, if you're not following Rob's Nerdy Knives, have you were over there, weren't you, Brant, with me? Or did I see you in
Yeah,
Kinsley's live?
I was hanging out. I said hi in there and
Yeah.
stuff.
If you're not following Rob, and I'll put his channel up here in a second. He is a very entertaining and educated, like we are. He learns from doing it, right? From having them come across this table. His first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 2 that are available or that will be available very soon. So this is the Piranha, and this is the Raider.
Oh,
Now, Rob, you tell me if you've got an ES3, an SE, or something that you want me to get to compare it, or I can compare it to the Formax in my lap. I can compare them to Benchmades, but they are pretty. The Apprentice is my favorite. This is the one I carry in my back pocket. It is 80 CRV CM, and it's treated with a nitron boride treatment. Again, Tim Kell is a military vet, and I don't know what secret shit he did there. But one of the things that he became very aware of is this is a coating material. They use it to coat like bluing, I guess, but they electroplate it on blade or on a pew parts, like bolt carriers and things like that are subjected to a lot of wear, to a lot of heat, and things like that. So these knives look stonewashed, but in actuality, they've got that nitrate boron bonded to them. And if you read on their website, and as Tim has told me, once it's been applied, if you take an HRC meter, these heat treat out. You can get it in 80 CRV or AEBL or ABEL. He prefers, and he has a whole thing on his website on why he's enjoys 80 CRV, if I'm saying that right, on why he uses it. But that I think has a 61 heat treat, and after it's been coated and cured with this, the hardness test comes back in the 80s. But the handles is what you were asking about, Rob, and I couldn't type enough to tell you about them. So Tim, his background in the military was in tactical operations. So he wanted to design knives. That's why you see a lot with the karambit hook. And his specialty is his karambit hooks, allegedly. I've never gotten one because I don't go with that style. It does not make your finger jut out. So you can hold it in a regular grip and it's got that karambit handle, which again, I carry nothing about. But the handles, I'm going to pull out the Raider because it'll show it better. You can get these in different finishes, but the reason he settled on each of these handles for each of these knives is they are very ergonomical. Without gloves, I never wear gloves. With gloves, they would even be more excellent. But my fingers just find the way into the slots of this handle. So this is the Raider. Let me get a bug out. I think that'd be a good comparison knife for you guys to see the size of these guys. But I watch, and they're very active, Rob, on social media. So Saturday mornings, I've started watching their show at, I think they go live early, like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I can't get them to come to a Friday night flicks yet because they're always in bed. They're early to bed, late to rise, or early to bed, early to rise. So this is the Raider compared to a bug out. It is about a half an inch, quarter of an inch shorter than the bug out. The Raider is. But the handle is mega comfortable in my mind. And then the Raider, like all the other TKLs, comes with a Kydex sheath that you can choose. They don't offer ulti clips, but before you got in here, or you might have been in here, they do offer these deep concealment clips. And I think the deep concealment clip performs better than the ulti clip because you don't have to constantly wedge it open and rip your finger off and slam it shut. But it's a very well-made Kydex sheath, huge drain hole. And you're asking about that push-off. I can rarely mount an ulti clip and have it on the same side as where I push off of a normal Kydex sheath because it cuts into my finger. But this is so thick, you can get behind that clip and you just push off so it deploys like an absolute champ. So I've got it in my back pocket. I just push that thumb and it comes out. And this stays securely in my pocket. And then, so those are the two. And then the little tiny Piranha is my number one. I think this cost me $120. And if you want one, or if you ever decide you want one, reach out to me because I've got a special way for you to save 10%. Not something I market, but you can save 10% off your order. But this little sheath is made, again, specifically for this. Tim is a huge proponent in retention because, again, he comes from that special forces part of the world. But I was asking Suzanne about these fasteners because I wanted to take it apart and look at the tang. And I forget if they're hex 20, I forget the hex size, but I said, I've never seen fasteners before. And she said, well, Tim couldn't find what he liked. So he designed and he fabricates these. So when you look at any of these knives and you're just like, that's a funky fastener, I haven't seen that anywhere. It's because these are proprietary. I mean, they open with a simple Torx wrench, but he came up with that because he liked the way it worked. And these handles are fantastic. And then I've got two other that I picked up before that they're not actively, they're sold out, but they will be back. Where'd I put them? Rob, I apologize, but I'm a fixed blade fool, and I used to never be. It's just one rabbit hole that this community took me down. So this is the combatant that I was showing you earlier. This is very similar to Raider sized, but it's a little bit more
That's a good
tactical.
size there.
It's a
That
great
is a
size.
good size.
And it's got that swedge. So if we look at this next to our bug out,
Looks similar to this style.
see, it's going to be about 1/2 inch shorter than the bug out. But dude, it is, I mean, I've beat on these knives. It is thick. And it's got that swedge, so it's got a very pointy tip. And that grip,
Looks
something
cool.
about these, I don't know if it's G10 or micarta. I want to say it's micarta, but it's got these little offset ridges, or not ridges, little valleys milled out, and it's contoured slightly. So it just really fits the hand good. Now, I've not processed cardboard with it because that's not what I would necessarily use it for. Rob, reach out to Tim Kell through DM on social media. Follow those guys. Just give him input because those guys are always looking for what people want to bring into their line. He might not have them available now, but they'll be around fall or winter. He focuses on one. He's got a couple of Warncliffs blades that if you look at them, they've got the little karambit handle on them. But if you took away with your mind that karambit handle, they would be perfect little EDC knives. They would be, where'd it go? They would be this size. Just a little wicked Warncliffe. He's also got a little wicked Tanto, which I don't think he's bringing back the Tanto because it was too costly to produce, too many grinds. But they've got a wicked little Warncliffe that's got that karambit ring. And he started this year, which is good for people that like karambit. And I think it was a smart idea. He added a scale option that includes that karambit ring. So it comes together solid, gives you the same strength, but it allows you to take off and purchase regular scales and have either a conventional knife or a more tactical knife.
That's pretty
The
cool.
first one I picked up that turned out to be too big, but I carry it. This is another retention system they offer, Rob. You can choose this belt loop that'll carry it both horizontally or vertically. I carry this one on my back. Everything else I carry either in my back pocket or appendix. But then they've got this guy, I don't know if y'all have heard of him. His name's Eric Outer. He's evidently a knife designer. I'm not familiar with him, but he collaborated with Kell Designs, and they came up with this Outer Limitless Accomplice. This knife, you might be able to see the step milling in. My lights don't do it justice, but again, the grind is done by a series of step mills. But this knife is bigger than I would normally carry. It's a heavy full-size knife for me, but it carries almost invisibly on my belt, just flat in the middle of my back. Now, it can be a pain in the ass getting in and out of the car, but again, it's got that same quality sheath. That's one of the clips you can choose from and when you purchase it. So, Rob, these are the I couldn't communicate it in the chat. So these are the 4 I have. There are 2, the Piranha and the Raider, you can get this month and next month. One of them's coming out this month, one of them's coming out next month. I forget which. And they'll be available, I think, for a little while. This one's called the Outer Limitless Accomplice. Now, if any of these are not on the website anymore, because he had a live stream Saturday and I tuned into the last part of it because I was asleep at the beginning. They discontinued every year. They have to discontinue a few just to keep their production up because they do a lot of military and law enforcement contracts. But this is the Outer Limitless Accomplice. It's not currently available. This is the Combatant that is not currently available, but it is great. And if you look at this compared to the Raider, which is available or getting ready to be available, they both share the same sheath system. They're right about the Outer Limitless Accomplice. No, excuse me. The Raider looks, let me hold them up like this because I can't do it on camera. That's how much longer the Raider is than the Combatant. But I prefer the Combatant because it's a tall, like a 3/4 flat, and it's got a really nice finger choil. They both have nice
That
finger
was
choil.
comfortable.
They are. And what's weird is if you look at them on the website, the handle looks like it would feel bumpy. It looks like it would fatigue your hand. But, and again,
Yeah.
I urge you guys to subscribe to their channel and watch either some of his content or watch one of his live streams because he'll take questions and suggestions because he's a knife maker like Lefty is, or a designer. He's a maker and a designer. But Lefty, I admire for a lot of reasons, but one of them is he's a designer who doesn't get butt hurt, but takes constructive criticism and changes things because he wants it to be what the people want. He told me early on, it's not about what I like. If I like it and to get it started, it's about the feedback that I get from the community. And then the most economical one, Rob, and the one that I like the best, only because it carries the best, is this little apprentice. Not apprentice, it's the piranha. So if I take the piranha and the bug out, it's going to be even smaller than the mini bug out. So the piranha, let me grab the baby banner. I've got it right here. I think you have one of those.
It was cool meeting. I got to talk to the guy that made that.
That made the
Ben.
bitty banner.
Yeah.
Ben, isn't Ben the nicest
Yeah.
guy?
He is really nice. He let me look at the baby banner and also the lanyard one, and also the other one.
The NAF. The NAF
Yeah,
lanyard
that was
and the
cool.
so
That is cool.
it's a little bit longer than the Civivi. But again, you can disappear this in your pocket. The sheath you could just use as a pocket dropper. I'll get off that one, but it's those knives. I'm glad you stopped by, Rob, and I hope showing those sizes make more sense because I'm a terrible typer. I don't spell that bad, but I use an iPhone and an Apple TV, so I'm tapping, and I've always will misspell stuff. And I'm always like, God, I've got so much that I can add to this, but it's going to require me to type this much. And then what I carried today earlier, this is a new arrival. This is a Jacob
Ooh.
Creates Chickadee in 20 CV. I've been collecting these
Ooh.
steels. I've got one in S90V that's a full flat grind. It's a little 5-inch fixie. I've got this one in 20 CV, and I've got one in MagnaCut. And Kyle Coonley sharpened the one that's in MagnaCut. This is the 20 CV one. It's satin and full flat. And then I've got a MagnaCut. Must have it out. Let's see. All right. Well, the MagnaCut's temporarily disappeared, but I don't think it's gone far. Let's see. Kind of weird.
Can't find it.
Well, I mean, it's here somewhere. I'm not worried about it not being here, but it's not in its full spot.
Hey, what's up, Maddie?
Maddie! But I've got so much shit slung around here. There's no telling. It's probably right under my nose. We've all watched Tri-State struggle for a knife. It's right under his nose. Oh, you know where
He's
it
pretty
is?
funny when.
Duh. Look,
The,
I couldn't find it because it's
oh,
right
you're
here.
carrying it. That's yeah. It's so small you don't even
And that's
realize it.
and that's how I carry it, because this one you can carry on your appendix and you don't even know it's there. But this is the one. Look, if you can see the edge on this one,
Oh yeah.
Kyle Coonley put that on. This one's Magna Cut with a G10 handle. And Jacob
Ooh.
Ginsburg, the guy who makes these, who runs Jacob Creates, he's got a reel on his page where he walks through his shop. And I was amazed at the quality of like quenching equipment he has, but more amazed by he's got the bare minimal of stuff. He's got like 4 tools, a drill press, a grinder, um, 2 other tools, a bandsaw and something else. And then he had this really kind of cool heat treat oven that was small. And he talked about it. And then he had several different quench setups and plates that I really don't understand. No, it's not a belly button ring, Chris. Chris, you know, I've never had a hole in my body that wasn't put there by somebody else. I did get
Oh
stabbed in
wow.
elementary school, but I've never gone that route. Now I'm in the mood for a sleeve. Long day milling and trimming. You got to get up at 3:30. Timmy, you go watch the best of your right back of your eyelids, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. I always appreciate any of you stopping by. And I know people have to bug out. It's Monday night. I figured I would stay live because I'm currently, I don't say unemployed. I say I'm in the middle of a life change. And it's all good.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of enjoying it. So my sleeping hours are weird anyway. So I'll stay on with you guys as long as you want to rally. But yeah, I even sent
Party
left
all
a
night.
text, which I rarely do, but I sent him a text and said, buddy, I'm just proud of you. I mean, I looked at just a few, and I'm sure Colin had a lot to do with it, but I think Lefty probably knows knives more what he likes. But that hole was a genius move, making it smaller. And the rounded carbon fiber scales are exquisite. It's some of the nicest weave carbon fiber I've seen. I'm a big Kubi fan,
They are
but
pretty
this is
cool though.
oh, it's a Devo design, dude. It's have you had one?
I've never owned one.
You never tried a growler?
Never tried a growler.
I'll make that change. And the other thing that I brought in, I was trying to show you guys some things that you might not have seen. I don't know if I told you, but I did get my first GEC, and I think we talked about that. I got a yellow rose number
Good night,
86.
NFK. Good night,
Night
man. Sleep
NFK.
well.
You call me anytime, buddy. You keep your head up. Let's see. I had.
Well, Terry, here's the thing. I like seeing other knives and I like to hold them. They're cool.
Dude, you can love a brand. TRM is my brand. Marianne
Yeah,
and Lee are my people. They're people that I don't agree with a lot of what they say. I agree with a lot of what they say, but I don't agree with a lot of what they say. And I can appreciate their knives. So I think there's room in if you would open your mind to it, you would not, you're denying yourself some really good knives without doing anything to disparage your love for Hinderer. You can love Hinderer and have them be the main part of your collection, but you can also, you have the right,
yeah,
and Rick would understand, you have the right to enjoy other knives. This knife
I do.
is
I
exquisite.
do. I mean, let's see, where is that one now?
And I'm not giving you a hard time, buddy, because I love Hinderers
No, you're
too.
fine. No, you're fine, Javon. No, you're fine. No, it's okay. I was trying to find my Jack Wolf knives. I lost it again.
Thomas McDonald, channel member, what is up? So this Hinderer led to, I've got great friends in this community. And they're also bad fucking influences. This is nothing to do with Lefty, but Lefty's the one I think of most when I think of that. But I was blessed to get the opportunity to buy this, which made me not be able to say no because it was not a cheap date. But this is a GEC number 86 in my Carta. If y'all are GEC people, which I'm not, this is a 861121 red and black linen micarta. And that's what the tube looked like.
Here's Zach. Here's for you, Zach. This is just for you, Zach.
Let me do an Adamus salute for you.
This is an old school Dynamis.
That's a mini with some sweet applied weapons technology scales and
This is
graphite.
the old school one, Javon. This one's the D2 version.
Ah,
This is the
it's a
OG
full size
version.
too, ain't it? That's the full size
Yeah, it's
too.
full size. Oh yeah, it's very full size. I love this knife. This was like my favorite knife. I used it a lot.
This knife almost sent me to the hospital, but new skin and quick thinking and Jesus, I think it was a miracle too, kept my fingertip intact.
Zach did a donation to a membership, and Todd got it.
Todd, congratulations, Zach. Thank you, buddy. I apologize, guys. I don't see that stuff, but what I do, I don't blow.
I'm glad I'm up here.
Y'all. I 100% appreciate it, and I do the the white stag, big Bowie.
Ooh, I've seen those knives. I love those.
Thank you. So that's better than a gong, in my opinion. And it's this knife was sent to me by my best man for my wedding, who found out I had a channel and saw that I was into small slip joints. And he does a lot of traveling. He's retired, and he went out to Colorado and stopped by somewhere that had silver stag and said, I need to get my buddy a big boy knife. He goes, he has all these little knives. So of course they picked out the most ostentatious thing they could find. But I can cut paper with that. That thing has got an edge where you could sit there and whittle paper with the whole blade. I mean, it's done well. I don't know how long it would hold up because I'm not beating on it. This was a gift from a community member, which blew my mind. This is the GEC that Brother Ian Coates sent me. It's got this really unique micarta. But what's unique
the one that it got away from me.
This one got away from you?
Yeah.
This one's got a lock on it.
And I love that style. That's my favorite style.
What do you call this lock? What do you call that lock? This has got the heaviest pull.
It's not like it's not a liner lock. It's just more like a safety lock, I guess. It's what they would probably call it.
It's got the heaviest action of any slip joint I've ever experienced. I know what a 10 is. A 10 means you can't open it, right?
Yeah.
This is a 9. 9 3/4.
That's pretty good.
Dude, it is. I mean, it's like every time I do it, I'm afraid I'm going to peel my thumbnail back. And I've got thick, chopped up thumbnails. And it's big, but it's a cool knife. One of my faves. Have you ever seen this little guy? Watch this.
Oh my gosh. That's a tiny little dude.
This is the GEC keychain knife.
Here's to you, Zach. This is to you, Zach.
Is that a proponent? I got that wrong.
No, this is the Presidio. This is the Presidio. And me and Zach did a trade a while back, and he got me this. This is personally carried by him.
Zach, are they all that stiff? I know I handled an early round one of Justin's, and it didn't seem that stiff. Knife. I wonder if you should send that back, or if that's just normal. I'm not gonna talk politics, but I love some of the scales that they've released for that. For the ASK?
Yes, it is. It's very solid. I use this outside. This is my yard knife. This is lame.
I showed you kids this earlier. I don't know if the people that came late.
I love that.
This dude, it's so light. It is 1 spring, titanium, 2 G10 scales. It's got a very substantial pull, very solid knife. And what's great about it is the way I hold it is I put my finger right here. So it's just, I mean, it's never going to shut on you. And you can just swap the blades out. And it's a Surge. The only thing
Oh
I
yeah,
don't like
Surge are
about it,
good.
which is because I'm a weirdo, is the fact that it's got a clip. Even though it's more, yeah, Zach, because I think they can be done a lot smoother. And I understand. I talked to, ironically, Protect today because I'm getting ready to send my Mordax back because I haven't ever carried it much, but it's got a little bit of pivot lash. And I called to ask, talked to a really nice lady. I've heard great things about them. I didn't print out the form or anything, but I told her, I said, look, I haven't wanted to take it apart because I love the knife and I know that that voids the warranty. It's just got a little bit of shake in it. What would you do? She goes, oh, please download the form. Or if you can't download the form, just write down the pertinent information. We ask that you send it in a box and please send it back to us. We do not want that. It was so far, I'm going to do a video when it comes back. I'll do an unboxing on this. But so far, the
Oh,
customer
that'd be
service has
cool.
been absolutely amazing. So I hope Medford or ASK's customer service is as accommodating. And I say that, and Protect might screw me. I don't think so. I kind of know Dave, and he strikes me as a really legit guy. But again, I'm such a
And
green
I met
penny.
him.
I have too. I've met him several times. He sold me both of
I
my
met him
knives
at the
personally.
Texas Blade Show.
He sold
He
me. He
was
sold
he was
me
a really nice
this.
guy. I mean,
Yeah, he is. He sold
he's
me
a nice.
this in Nashville 2 years ago. He and I were
He
talking.
almost sold me that one Protect made by Trezola, and I almost bought it.
And he wasn't trying to sell it. He happened to be the person at the group. I wonder what see, I'm not smart enough to know what even causes that, but I know Protec will take care of it. I never worried about that. I almost felt guilty asking about it because it sounds to me, and I love this guy like a brother, but it sounds like a lefty problem. I use that kind of in quotes when I think something's just somebody's being persnickety about something that is all for practical purposes to mere mortals almost perfect. But it kind of bothers me because my Malibu doesn't do that. If I didn't know better, I would have never brought it up. But she made it sound like it was easy peasy. I just don't understand what causes it. I would think if I took it apart and put it back together, it may just fix it. But I don't know if something's off size or what even causes different problems. Some problems I know what causes it. Most of them I don't. But what
Yeah.
else have I gotten in? Oh, I know what I got in. Are y'all familiar with Ansler Tools? Cole is a big fan, and he introduced me to them. They're an Etsy brand. The bad thing is, I was going to do a video earlier on the 5EDC knives that I've carried the most, 6 blades, and it was one of the knives, and it's a little bit, here it is.
Hey, Rob asks, is it the button lock seem weaker or squishy?
The button lock, Rob, feels 100% legit, just like I mean, it flicks like the regular. I can feel there's a little weird noise in there, but the button feels perfect. It doesn't feel like it needs to be stretched out where it is, just ever so slightly. That wouldn't bother me if I could just do that, but if you shake it or when I pick it up out of my case in a hurry, I can feel that real slight weight shift that makes me think something's not solid in there. It's just me being anal retentive. It doesn't affect the knife, I don't think. I love this knife. I think it's just sweet. But this little guy right here, and this is the smallest variation. These are on Etsy by a company by the name of Amsler Tools. They're US made. They're Boss heat treated.
Ooh,
They're MagnaCut.
is that the scalpel?
It's the Amsler Hurricane Razor. That's what they call the knife. And then this is a
Ooh,
2049 or a mini. We'll go to their page and I'll show you that they've got. Ooh, that's beautiful. That they've
the
got
very
different
first
blade
one that came
shapes,
out.
different finishes, and different sizes. This is the small one. It's got a pocket clip. So I carry this in my shirt pocket like I do a pen. It's got a little Tanto blade. It's heat treated at right around 64. And this one's got the 80 finish. Yeah, I paid extra for that. It comes with extra screws and a clip removal tool, just a Torx bit so you don't have to look for one, or a Torx wrench. And then it comes with a lot of these O-rings. So if I were to take the clip off and run these O-rings up the spine, it would give me more of a paracord type handle, right? But I use this as a box opener. I use it as a Slurpee saver. Not that I've ever had to use it for that. But the little Kydex sheath is money. You can just drop it in your pocket, use the clip, or I have been carrying it. It comes with 2 chains, and I've been carrying it with this dark.
Mr. Roman, I'm sorry to cut you off there.
You go ahead,
Devon.
buddy.
Here you go, Roman. This is the only buoy I have, and I do like it. It's a great blade shape for EDC. Unless if you wanna get something like that. This one you cannot get anymore. This is an old vintage.
I think one of y'all need to say, I have been looking for a mini Tempest Bowie that's in perfect condition.
Ooh! Ooh, I almost bought one of those.
Hey, I might
I'm
have
not
one for
joking, I
sale.
almost
I'm
did.
trying to get Brother Needham some cash for a different knife. And I love this knife. The only thing that holds back, if it was a drop point, I could flick it better. I can flick it about 90% of the time. But the fuller comes down to the handle just a little bit shorter. I mean, this knife is just perfect. But I don't carry it much. For some reason, y'all know I'm not a front flipper guy. This has got one of the most fluid. And what do they call this detent?
Double detent?
No, they call it. He does something unique with his detents because the action is. I mean, I talk about selling it and then I don't, and I had it listed and it didn't sell and I was happy. And then guys, if any of y'all are interested in a tripper, which is a Jason Grant, I call it the gripper's angry little Tanto cousin. This is a medium-sized knife, and I quote Christine Women Carries Knife with that term. I think it's fitting. It is a small to medium-sized knife that is made by Best Tech. You can get it in this apocalyptic gray or the Grant black finish. And I'm saying both of those names wrong, but it's S45VN. It came to market at $250. Right now, if you DM him and you don't go through the site and you just say Javon sent me, what can I get? He can get you a tripper for $200. He's trying to move the rest of them out so he can get the Gripper V2 with the Grant lock started. So these guys, if anybody's looking, all you have to do is let him know Javon sent you, or just DM him and say, "Hey man, I heard about a special offering on the tripper, but you can grab one for $200." It's been a very enjoyable knife. And the other new knife that I brought in, that again, this was a lefty influence, and it was not anything he said. It was how I could read his nonverbal communication when he was playing with it. And if I'm not mistaken, and y'all speak up in the chat if one of y'all bought it. Hey, Pat, he still has this knife. But this is the Berg Blades Sweeney. It's a Riot made
Ooh.
liner, or you wouldn't call it a liner lock. I don't know if you call that a concealed liner lock because part of it goes behind the
Internal
scale.
lock, internal.
But this is
Probably,
the steam wash version. It's 20 CV. It's sharp, and it's the same size as my paramilitary too. So this is a full size knife for those of you who like full size knives. How did I fail that? So this knife, the Sweeney, is about the same length as a PM2. If I could hold it straight. But to me, it's a gentleman's folder to the nth degree. But if I've waited 3 days, would I prefer to have the Null Voodoo in my pocket? And I borrowed A to Z EDCs, one of my best friends here in Huntsville, and I'm in love with that knife. And I'm in the process of trying to buy one. So I love, love, love the Voodoo. But I don't have one. And I like that knife. I don't think I'd get much use for it because to me that's got one purpose, and that's Slurpee saving. Everybody should have a Slurpee saver. And then, ooh, the biggest surprise of the year, one of my all-time favorites is this Kungwu Padre. Because I've got 3 Kungwu, well 4 now, but I've got a Tau and an X Tau. The Tau is a frame lock. The X Tau is a button lock.
Yes,
Not a button
yes,
lock,
Rob, it is.
access lock. And the detents are totally different, as they should be. And there's nothing wrong with the X lock or the bar style lock, but I'm a big fan of the frame lock. So I've got a Pulsar too, but it uses the same bar lock as the big Tau. Well, when the Pulsar or the Padre came out, hey, it looks like a knife that everybody's made that comment of. The handle's totally different, but you do have cutouts in the same place. But what I can tell you about the knife is it's 100% ergonomical. It is slicey as a TRM Shadow, if not slicier. It's Vanex super clean. It will rip your thumbnail in half if you let it drop without warning. Has no wiggle.
That's what happened to me with Pocket Metal's knife.
And I picked this up on NAFSAIL, guys. Again, I'm not any affiliation with NAFSAIL, but I happened to be on there, and this knife was pictured in a box that had not been opened. So I reached out to the guy because I like to know who I'm buying knives. It's chunky, Pat, but it fits in the pocket good. The clip is great, and I'm a little guy, and I've been carrying it, and I love it. But I love a slim midi, so if you want to get an idea, it's bigger than a slim midi. But the
You know,
way
I've
that
actually held this
handle,
Slim Mini. I've actually held this Slim Mini, and it's pretty cool. I'm just
but
not a big fan of Methods.
it's not a big. I think you'd like Medford brand. I'm gonna take my first. I'm gonna put skiffs in this. So this is gonna be a disassembly. I'm gonna have to break out my T25 bit.
Because I had a Medford. It was the Endelay. That was the one I first had, and well, I traded it, but didn't work out for me.
And some of them don't, and that's okay. This front flipper, which
And plus,
again, you know how I feel
even though
about
that
front flippers.
even though I got yelled at by the big man himself, but
Hey, that just
not really
means
yelled at.
you got his attention. But this is a. I just love it. It's probably right now one of my faves. And then the Growler V2. What can I say, guys? I mean, if you look at the V1, and somebody tell me how long ago did this come out? Has it been a year? Has it been 9 months? The V1? I can't remember when I bought this. I can go back and look at my spreadsheet, but I get depressed every time I do.
Uh-oh.
But I want to say it was a year or less ago. So they listened to the community, and I can see 3, or not counting the materials, but the blade hole, huge improvement, being smaller, being tighter. The sculpted handles, regardless of, I think the G10 are even sculpted too, right? I think they're all sculpted handles. And they went to the wire clip, which I know a lot of people hate the wire clip. They were going to do a clip, but they didn't want to take money away from Lynch's pockets, and you can buy a Spyderco replacement clip if you like a solid clip. But everything about this knife, again, it's Kubi, not shielded. The detent's on point. I heard you can front flip it. It's not made to be front flip, but since that jimping now, which is another change, the old version was smooth. This has jimping. If you get it, you can front flip it, which I don't know why anybody in their right mind would ever want to front flip a freaking knife. But if that's your jam, I love you just as much. And you can front flip the Devo Growler. Now, I don't know
You can
how I'd
actually.
feel about this knife if I had it in aluminum. I don't know how I'd feel if I had it in G10. I was very specific about Nut Knives 69. What's up? Blade Over, what's up? I was very
What's up,
specific about
everyone?
getting the carbon fiber. And luckily I did. I was there early. What you got there? Fire tack?
Yeah, I got my one of my fire tacks. I
Do you have it
dig
with
the
me on
fire tack.
bearings?
Yeah, it's on bearings.
That's one that's
It just
listed on
falls.
the compatibility chart for skiff. Let me go back
Yeah,
over
this
here because
thing
I want to show y'all.
falls.
I know what we like to do. I want to show y'all some cool stuff because I've not been to several knife stores today. I've been doing other stuff. Here, Brant, check this out.
What?
And if you go to Skiff Workshop, so if you go to the Hinder Fire Track Triway, it's the one that uses a 3/16 instead of the quarter. So it's obviously got a different size
Oh,
pivot. But just go in and read
yeah.
some of
It's
these reviews. I mean, I've not seen anything less than a 5 review. And some people put a lot of thought and time into their reviews, and they're sharing some good info. But what I wanted to look at together, and y'all tell me if you want to see something different.
Rob, I have two that are non-flippers, and they're amazing.
And have I shown you guys Squirrel Brain? The T Denny, this is a USA made knife. The Apprentice, it's the one style he makes. This is a fantastic little slicer. It's totally different than any other fixed blade that I have because where all my other ones are kind of rugged, this is heat treated Magna Cut at I want to say 64, 65. And this is the acid etch,
Oh,
but it is a slicey little, I would never want to pry with it, but it is so thin. And it's got this. This is called Vintage Caramel Micarta. The handle is, and he drops these. If you're not following on Instagram, we'll throw his page up in a second. But you can get these in totally different, cool handle materials. But it's a great little backup carry in terms of box opening, Slurpee saving.
what's up, Ginger
Look,
Miz?
what's up, buddy? I haven't talked about the hashtag C word once, my man. I feel guilty about it. I always have. All right, we're going to share this first. And we're just going to take a peek. See, I love that knife of Richie's. You know that's a NAF. Oh, yeah, it shows right there. Let's
Yeah,
see
I
what.
did say that. That was cool.
Can y'all see it? Too much. Allie Perrycord's selling a Factor 2, guys.
Oh wow, that's actually a good price too.
450. I thought they were like 385. Am I wrong? I don't remember what they cost.
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Depends.
Because I don't buy that fake inflation thing when you're dealing with people that are in the community. I think NAF sale customers in the community. This is a good deal. This knife would be, it's got standard tie, so this is like my regular Midi Marauder. I'm guessing this knife was probably 575 to 600 new. Slim Eddie Tanto. S, so it's S90V. It's a good deal. See what else we got. What else we got? Chicka. Why is it taking so long? We got a Shaman. Looks high. Got a good deal on a bug out if it's real.
It's normally not real.
Why does it say Armatus? Maybe it's.
No, Junior man. I haven't
Are those
bought
the
one of those in a
scales
while.
that are Armatus?
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah. ZT Pino Bravo Series X, Hinder
Oh, I see a
XM18
3 inch.
3-inch. That's Battle Black too, isn't it? Or is that
Oh,
Stonewash?
it looks like Stonewash.
Yeah, it does.
I need to take
With
better
the
pictures.
with the olive. Yeah, it's so easy to, and it seems like me coming from the digital marketing background, your picture's everything. I mean, you don't
Yeah,
have to
you
be a
gotta have better
photographer, but just make
lighting.
it.
Good lighting.
Couple of good prices on Scorpions. If y'all have been interested, I've got. I don't have it here, but I've still got an Orion. Um, Is that what it was called, the Orion? I've got the first one that I really like. Custom Damascus fixed blade. I don't know anything about that, but I would run from that. Buck 110, Spyderco Manix 2, Spyderco Yojimbo. Depending on the shape of that, it looks like it's got. It looks like those are somebody's scales. I don't know whose scales those are. May come back. His mirror edge with very light damage.
Oh yeah, I can definitely
Yeah,
see
you
it.
can
Yeah,
sharpen
there's
that
two little
out, whatever it
nicks.
is. Yeah, that doesn't scare me
That's
though.
easy.
But people, you got to realize a lot of the guys don't, and I can understand it's intimidating to sharpen. That's a good deal, guys, I think. Now, I will tell you, I've got a brown micarta, F5.5, and it's one of the bad ones. When I say bad, it's fine for me, but this would make him pull a little bit of hair he's got out. The detent is so lazy. And I don't know if I've heard that none others are like this. I've heard that
Good
it
night,
was that
Zach.
version. I know the titanium ones I've used have been banging. So anyway, CGRB Rhea, I gave that away recently. This is one of the best knives. It's one of the first knives I got. The only bad thing is it's got a thumb stud on one side, but wow, is it good. It is so good for what it is. A lot of cool stuff in here, guys. I check this site in the morning and in the afternoon. What I was going to say is I found there's an MSI for $300. I
I
found the
want one.
Padre. One morning I went on there and it was in a sealed box. So I was like, wow. So I reached out to the seller that immediately got back with me and he's like, yeah, I'm a Kung Lu sucker and I bought the satin and the stonewash because I wasn't sure which I was going to use, which makes sense. He had the money and I knew I could sell it. I'm selling it for $5 less than I paid for it plus shipping. I think that's fair. And I said, I totally think it's fair. He said, when I opened the stonewash, I was just blown away. And I knew that's what I was going to roll with. And I was like, dude, I'm in. So I bought it right then. And it came to me. I kind of expected it not to be, that he'd at least looked at it. But dude, it was fresh, like I would have waited 2 weeks for it. Because you can still get them on Kung Lu's site. I don't go through all this. I just go down the pages of stuff I haven't seen, but I urge you guys, if this is new to you, look, there's a Sharp by Design Mini Tempest Bowie for $3.95. Even though it's got Arctic carbon fiber, mine's got plain.
Oh,
Mine's
I think
satin
I'm ready to
too.
get that.
Dude, I'm asking too little for mine. I ought to go in there and put mine up for $365.
That
I
would
really
just be like
want to
a
sell it.
safe
I
coin
want
for
to get
me.
cash and just get I've got to get got to. This is a good knife. I've got the first version of that, and that's a good price. An AM8 Gladiator. Let's see if this is this is the traditional flipper. This is the same version I have. This whole blade in titanium has got this gray DLC coating on it. Very unique, very solid, very big knife. And I think it was 180. It's M390. The new version, the front flipper is S90V. There's that mini Adamas for 180. This is a great deal, I
Oh,
think.
that's the one Benchmade I want.
But look, $140, isn't that a great deal? Am I missing
That
something?
is a really good.
The MSI, Rob, I'm guessing is probably going to be FRN. It was tan, but let's look. And I think NAFCL gives you the choice to where you don't have to say, or you choose either or. Let's see what they say. Texas Blade Show in March. So it was a Tony signed. We're probably not going to get much more information unless you know anybody who went to Texas Blade.
I did.
Do you know if they had if these are G10 or if these are?
They were G10.
Yeah, it
Yes.
looks like G10.
Yeah, they were green and black. That's what the colors were.
There you go.
'Cause I got to meet the man himself. Cause I got to meet the man himself. I mean, Anthony Marthione. I mean, that dude is a legend.
Yeah, I hear, and again, I've been in the knife community for just a little while, and I don't know. I hear drama stuff all the time, and I try not to pay attention to it because I wasn't here for it. But it seems like there are mixed feelings for him
Hey,
in the
he's
community.
pretty
I don't know
cool.
why.
I don't even own a Microtech yet, so that's the thing.
A gunslinger, they want too much. They're getting greedy, Dr. Drew. Here,
Oh,
Drew.
that's way too much for it, yeah. Well, I mean, they were
I've sometimes
$3.99
called
on
people out and
retail.
I've messaged them and
Ooh.
said, hey, man, just reconsider. And they won't. I don't blame them. And if you spend money to get a knife and somebody's going to buy it, who am I to say it's not worth it? I just think it's rude to take advantage of people. If you're going to do that, do it on Reddit. I think this knife is pretty community focused, but this is the X-Tau. That's a good price. This is an L Max. That's what I enjoy about Kungwu, or one of the things is they'll push the limit on steels. There's a smock, a Kaiser Megatherium. So yeah, guys, a work sharp precision with a looks like a stone holder and angle grinder or angle determiner or whatever you call it, angle. And I thought this was a good price for this Hoback Fixie. I don't know what they cost, but 150. That's from Tactical Terry, so I'm sure it's a good deal. But Nacelle rocks, guys. I'm a big fan, and I'm a big fan of White Mountain because they gave me my first code. I just had to ask for it. And again, I get nothing off it. It's just a 10% savings. And I'm sure we all know they probably mark their stuff up to save that. But I've never felt that I've gotten anything but the best deal when I go to White Mountain Knives. And what I usually do, I don't know how to do it. I know how to do it on my mobile. I want to just see in stock. There we go. Only filter by in stock. It makes it a lot less painful. And what I do is they're really bad, not bad, but their website doesn't link. Like if they get restocks in, like if they get a new batch of Tucson's in, or if they get the Voodoos in, you won't see them as new arrivals. They're going to come in down the back door. So I'll do stuff like go, because I'm a Tucson whore. If I could spell, then we'll get away from here. I want to go to get back into the chat. But so you can look at the new Tucson knives. Why is it not showing just in stock? Or you can type in slip joint or fixed blade. There's just better ways. Nacelle, as much as I love them, their site, and I know how hard it is to do site work, and I know it's expensive. And if your site works and it converts a looker to a buyer, this knife right here is fan freaking tastic. This is the closest knife I've got it to a Chavez as I've experienced. It's on washers. It's mega thin. Yeah, it's D2. But it is so tight. It is so good. This knife I have, and this is overbuilt and so good. Yes, it's D2, but I swear to you, you could stick it through a car door. It's got a full back spacer. Let's see if it shows it anywhere. It's got this little pin that comes in the box that allows you to stick that little pin in that hole and screw it in, turn it into a fixed blade. That's how massive this knife is. And you can see that back spacer goes all the way down. I mean, it's a full
Oh,
backspace. But there's some different knives if
pretty
you look.
cool.
I don't know if y'all guys put it up. I had that little funky Kaiser duck looking knife. You know what I'm talking about? This is a great
Oh, I
knife.
know, yeah.
Look at this stock. I thought we did that. Oh, in stock. I was going to show you this one more and then we're out of here. But I urge you guys to check this site from time to time because you'll find things that you don't find other places. This is where I found my Kaiser Verates. I just happened to be here and it showed up. I mean, I've snagged several. I snagged this little knife. This is a double detent. This is a
Ooh.
great knife for $64. Read the review. I mean, it's not. I know there's some dogs out there, but the ones I picked up have been absolute winners. Um, damn it. I feel like I'm wasting y'all's time. I apologize. There's one knife I'm looking for.
It's all good.
We're gonna get
I'm
out of
good
here.
watching.
I think it's OTAP, but I don't. Maybe not. We don't come to it here in just a second. I know what I can do. This knife used to be $88. I don't know why it went up. No, it didn't. That's a different knife. I've got a slip joint that looks just like that. That's $88 that I think's in stock. That is an absolute banger. I would recommend it to my mom if she was looking for a slip joint. This knife, this one looks good. I've not tried it. I had this and gave it away. Great knife, very much like a Liang Ma Cuff 4.0 or 2.0. I'm sorry.
I got to meet Leon Ma. That was cool.
He's a fantastic human being. I know there's been some deals, and I know he's probably screwed people over. We all have had shitty stuff happen. This one right here is not the one I was going to show you, but this is a slip joint. If anybody's looking, it's full titanium, M390, $90 minus 10%. But the one, it looks like Droopy the dog. Do y'all remember the little white dog that was on cartoons a long time ago that never smiled, never said
Yes.
shit, just was always
Yeah,
bummed
Droopy
out?
Dog.
This knife reminds me of Droopy Dog.
That's funny.
I mean, it does. When you see it, you'll say, I'm just going to go grab the god darn thing. Let's do this. Let me stop sharing. Let me
All
get
right.
back to you guys. Oh, I grab it real quick.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's going on? Y'all ready for a Texas Blade Show next year? I am, because I'm gonna be at the Texas. I'm gonna be helping Henry again.
This is
Oh
a
my!
weird knife. It's available in Anno on their site and in raw tie. I wish I'd gotten the raw tie. Tell me that's not Droopy Dog. Mayonnaise spreader extraordinaire. I know it's ugly. It's so ugly you gotta love it. I didn't expect y'all to think that, but from a design, I love the fact that they take design chances. And the operation of this knife, I don't know if you can tell with the Anno, but it's got black micarta insets. I don't care for the Anno, but it's done very well. It's just not my jam. And the both blades and this point right here is a box opening beast. And it's a full-size knife. It's a big guy. So I know that was anticlimactic, but I felt that you guys needed to see it. So what I'm going to do real quick is I want to go show you this because I told you I would. Let me go to Instagram. And let me go to two things. First, we're going to watch and see what Countess Annis posted for her last story. Ask me anything. You don't want me to do that, Miss Ann. Let's see what she's posted. I'm going to share that with you because, again, if we're talking about class 1A content, let me get back to where I was trying to be. Let's look at what Countess has posted. Can y'all see that?
Oh man!
She's on vacation with her boyfriend. They're in Turkey.
Man, she's pretty.
Oh, she's gorgeous. She's a Michael Ziva model. I think she's 34. She's super sweet. She told me about one of my imposters, somebody who'd stolen my pictures and had a fake profile, and they had like more followers than I did.
Oh wow!
I didn't get it. I turned them in and they went away. It must have gone away. There was one of, and they weren't undressed, but there was one of her and her beau in the shower last night, just standing and taking a picture, fully dressed. But anyway, she's cool. But what I wanted to show you guys. So this is that little apprentice that I showed you. This little knife. So he makes
Ooh.
these guys out of micarta. They're done by hand. You don't get the sheet. It comes with a Kydex sheet that works very well. That's just one of his, strategic partners. If you want a pocket dropper. But I'm just saying it's a great slicer. It's not but these are the way he sells them. I mean, you follow him and he shows the ones he's going to have for drop. So that's a belt satin or a hand satin. And I like here's a group where these are acid etched.
Oh, those are cool.
Dude, they're all, I mean, I'm telling you, they are the bomb. And this is done for weight because the customer wanted it. So, I mean, the guy is just an absolute genius. He's not trying to do everything. He just does and repeats something that's very, very, at least to me, appealing. Right. And it's one guy doing his thing, which means a whole lot to me. And that looks very similar to Jacob Create Shop. I mean, a small shop. Look at that Ultim.
Oh, that's cool.
But I urge you guys to check out T. Denny Knives. And if any of y'all want any of this information, ooh, I've got that exact same pew pew. If any of y'all want any of this information, just DM me and I'll try to
Is that a
remember.
SIG?
That was a SIG 365.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like one.
I got the regular one, the little 12, or I got a 15 clip, but I use a 12. So this is, Jason got moved and he is now back up to full production. He's trying to do 5 drops every Friday. And again, these, if you're interested, I told you about that. And let's see, I was trying to get you to some of the cool grippers that he's been doing. This, to me, I think is awesome. This is a little proto he's done. He's got a partnership with a manufacturer who's doing a folding version, but this is called the Battle Bar. This is the mini Battle Bar, where this is a sharpened edge, and these are 2 pry bars, and it's got a little fixed blade handling, comes with a sheath. Little warning. And he does all that by
This is
hand.
really making me want to make my knives again.
Dude, get out there. He doesn't even draw center lines. And it's just like, I don't know if y'all watch Satu Days. We'll go to his site next, but I don't know if you watch Satu Days video.
Same here.
Like he said in
Same
his
here.
video, he does not want to be just a guy who can mod and make knives. He wants to make the best. And I mean, I'm convinced that Satu will produce one hell of a knife if you like the style. So again, a lot of these makers make their stuff available only on, even though we know Jason from the gripper and from the tripper that he works with Best Tech, but every one of his knives, including the newest tripper, he uses this coffin kind of call sign, but he uses it for weight relief in the handles. This is his first clip point, and I think it's just wicked. And guys, he does this by hand without putting a mark of ink. But this is a guy who's got 30 years tattoo experience.
No experience to speak of, and I look at the holes in my cheek.
Those jimps are all done with a file by hand.
So,
There you go. Let me go back to that, give you a little love. How do I get it to go back? Let's see.
Get the arrow backwards. Oh, whoops.
Yeah. Let me find it. Here it is.
There you go. That's
my
my
3.5 inch. That looks like a 3-inch, maybe 3.5.
Yeah, it's a 3.5.
Because that's a little 5-inch J-cape chisel grind, it looks like, but you can see with the Ultim, you can see that weight relief through it. So even if you get solid scale, you've got that coffin for your weight relief. And he has a company now, and I'll say it wrong. It's not Waterjet Knives. Cuts his blanks for him, and he cuts them in a big rectangle. So the customer or he, based on the drop, he gets 2 sizes of them, and he can decide what kind of front to put on them. But dude, I mean, and this is my favorite. This little chopper looks like a little just sick stuff. But I urge you guys, there's so many good people. I don't know if y'all watched Ray earlier tonight, or if y'all are familiar with this. I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
Fascinated. This guy that does the neighbor, what is it called? Peace Neighbor. Are you familiar with that? Lefty was talking about it the other.
Urban EDC, we all live.
Can y'all see and hear that?
Join on in.
Uh-huh.
Let me get fast forward, because this guy's I didn't know.
Welcome.
He's evidently an actor, but he's a knife guy.
Big fun
well, I guess we'll
fun things today.
Go check out the video at Urban EDC with this guy, and or go to the website. It's called Howdy Neighbor. Howdy.neighbor. But he makes these. Peace Neighbor, that's what it was. I'm sorry. This is Ray doing his unboxing. But this guy played Iceman in the last Marvel movie, and he's got movie credits for freaking days. But he's just a knife guy.
Oh yeah.
And this is his new brand. And what he did is during COVID, when he'd walk around his neighborhood, he got in the habit of saying peace neighbor, and everybody was so closed off, it always made people smile. So afterwards, he started this brand to try to bring that kindness back to Los Angeles neighborhoods. I think it's a valid cause. I don't think it'll work. I think California's fucked. But I urge you guys, let's see if I can get to it. I urge you guys to check it out. Here's what's his fuck. I forget his name. Is that Taylor? And that's Quack.
I do not know.
But this is him. He's been in a lot of movies. His name is Jason something. This is just his Peace Neighbor site. But what I was going to show you guys is Sean. Yeah, that's his name. His name is
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Rashmore.
Sean, yeah.
Go Google him. Google Sean Rashmore, and you'll see the stuff he's done. But he's got these cool hats. I'm going to get one. He's got these patches. I'm not a huge fan of those, but they are available. And he's adding stuff, right? And it's all about kindness. He strikes me as a really cool guy. He was talking to Ray tonight. Ray was like, well, what do you care? And he's like, well, today I've got my Rosie. But he talked about the first movie he was in. He was playing a detective, and he had to carry a sidearm, and he was a knife collector as a kid, but they handed him a Microtech Dyratech, or I forget how to pronounce that, a Microtech to use. And he was so freaked out by the double spring, how it worked. It made him start thinking, and it turned it. It's not Jason Momoa, but he's also a knife dude. This guy,
Yeah.
he turned right back on hardcore into knives. He said that did it for him. Let me share this with you. Whoops. I don't want to create that. Go away. All right, let me share. Then I'm going to have to let the cat in because she's starting to bitch at me from outside. She'll hunt only until it suits her. So this is his personal page. I don't follow him there. Let's see if we can find him. He's got a couple of kids and a wife. Let's see if we can find him in a movie. Here's him doing writer strike shit. Rookie, that's the show that it's on Hulu where he carries the Microtech. And then, so he's on a show called The Rookie now. And then Aftermath, the movie coming out. I mean, he's not a blockbuster, but he's a working actor who does very well for himself. And he took his own money to start this. Here he is on the cover of Swagger or whatever. But I mean, when you watched him talking to Urban EDC, if you go to Urban EDC site and you watch that interview, you'll find that he is a knife guy. That's on a movie. You'll find that he's just an absolute dude like us. I mean, this is his personal page. Beautiful family man. I mean, he's got great values for somebody who's, just seems like a really nice guy. Lefty had nice things to say about him. Trying to find more knife shit, but I guess it's mainly family shit. But Ray was all freaked out. I don't watch movies. See, I'm guilty. I don't go to movies. But Ray was all freaked out that he was in that he was Iceman, because I guess Ray, being a Comic-Con guy, knew all about his role and Devil's Gate, whatever that was. But again, I don't keep up with this type of stuff. But I find it pretty cool that he's a knife guy. Now he's got this product, this Peace Neighbor. So y'all check that stuff out. And then this is the guy. The only reason I share him with you is this is where if I'm not reviewing one of my own knives, I'm reviewing one of A to Z EDCs. I don't like stuff sitting. I don't like to keep up with it. He'll let me carry a knife for a week or two and then do a review on it. But if you're looking for somebody that's got some cool stuff that just posts the basic stuff, not a big knife guy, he is in the chats from time to time, but he's got some bangers. He's the one that let me borrow and review this, but he's got 3 J capes that are just to die for. One of them, I don't know why he didn't have it on here. You should see this titanium paisley, this one right here.
The scrubbing call of sunset, I keep within my reach, trying yesterday to get away.
I mean, just cool stuff. There you go, Zach, if you're still in here, buddy. He's a purist too. But does anybody want me to jump over and check out their page? I know y'all are all dropping off probably because it is Monday night, 55 people, but I'm here for the haul. Y'all tell me what you want to talk about, what you want to see. Josh Branson, what's up? Yeah, Keanu Reeves carries a Microtech. I tell you what, knives are very, very utilitarian. Twain Thang, have you let us know what was waiting for you? I can, Junior Miz. I can do anything, guys. I'm here on Monday nights when I do this. I try to do what you guys want to do. If you want us to go to the gram, we can do roast. I just need you to give me names before I go over there because I have to switch back and forth.
Oh yeah, this is gonna look sweet.
We absolutely can do that. Kaiser drop bear from left and the Mittal. Okay. Got you. Awesome, buddy. How was the Mittal? I got the Growler V2 in today too. And I don't know what you think, but I was blown away. I've got the V1, but the thickness of the carbon fiber surprised me. The jimping, the way it felt, surprised me. And the smaller hole made a much bigger difference than I would have ever thought. And the D10 is tight. I hope yours is good, buddy. And I'd gotten away from Kaiser altogether because my habits had changed until one day last month or the month before, I had ordered 2 Kaisers on the same day. A Kaiser, not a nip slip, zip slip, a slip joint, and Demon Knock, I appreciate it, buddy. I'm in no need. I've got more knives and more shit to try to get through because I'm trying to do it with the plan, especially when I'm on this little hiatus from work. I'm trying to come up with a way to use my knife for different content. And guys, I don't play by the rules. I'm not trying to do, anything except share my collection, maybe for me in a long way. Could you go to my listing in NAFSale? Absolutely, Josh Branson. Y'all help us give which one is it, buddy? So I can search when I get there. What's it called? What knife? Junior Miz, mine got delayed on Saturday, and I had to wait over Sunday till tomorrow. So I feel your pain, buddy. I can tell you the box will be in good shape and you'll be stuck. Josh, which one's your listing, my friend? I will go there right now and pull it up. And it may just be because I'm going to be honest with you guys. The market sucks. They just laid off a whole group, a whole managing wing. It was just dissolved because the economy's so fucked up. I have no hard feelings and I'll be fine because I've got a skill set that people want, but it's not a good time to probably sell knives unless you find somebody like me who's just all over it because I have no sense. So it is a modern design stunner. Now, keep in mind, I only look at it from a consumer and a marketer standpoint. I'm no tri-state. I don't know some of those, but I don't think you need that. I think as long as you get the basics up there and good pictures, decent pictures that you can take with your phone.
I'm excited to make my knives.
Dude, I think that's great.
I gotta get I just got to do the heat treat now. This is comfy.
All right, so there's search. Okay, so it's saying it's searching for it. Throw me up the maker's name so I can just search it by maker. It's not pulling anything up. Dude, I hit my resistance bands every day. The Blade Modern Design Stunner. So is it Modern Designs or is it Blade Modern Design? Because for some freaking reason, either my computer's jacked up or NASAIL's search is jacked up. They're not giving me anything different from one search to the other. I keep coming to this fucking Winter Blade Factor.
That's weird.
All right, I copied that just like you put it in there. So if I can't find it, I would reach out to whoever and say, hey, man, Bade, B-A-D-E. See, I've got dyslexia, guys, and I don't pay good attention, but that helps. Why in the world would it pull up all these other knives too? Why is their search so fucked up? I do not get it. Okay, here it is. All right, guys. First of all, I'm not aware of this knife. Got flipper and thumb studs. The one thing is, a lot of people might not be looking for it. Don't know how many people, in a market economy that's soft, some knives are going to sell right away. Some knives are going to sell. I think your pictures are fine. If you could blow up the ratio, like set it as square so that you're getting the whole knife in each picture, where you're not taking off the tip, that would be helpful. But in all truth, if you feel comfortable with that price, let's go and do this. I always search it on the interwebs. God damn it. So if you got it at Kickstarter, it was 180 and then it went up from there. That's probably why it's not selling. On older knives like that, personally, when I look at them, I bought 3 knives from NAFSAIL. I bought a Best Man by Lion Steel. It was $70, half price for what it cost new. I bought a fixed blade, and I talked to everybody I did business with. Super nice guy in the community. I did not know him before, but this was like $30 off what I could have bought it for new if it was in stock, and it wasn't. I thought that was real fair. And I picked up that Kunwu Pulsar. Oh, not Pulsar, Padre for $5 or $10 less than I could have bought it from Kunwu for, and it was sealed. So, I mean, and you could probably keep it up there at that, and the right person will come along. But I look at it from a marketer, thin market theory, right? We're different because we need knives all the time, but not everybody's looking for a specific knife all the time. Josh, if you're not trying to, if it was 180 new, even though it probably sold for more than that after the Kickstarter, that's what people are going to be able to find when they see it and they say, oh, I kind of like that knife. And I can't tell if it's been anode or if it's got, it looks like that's decorative anode, but I might add something to it unless that's just wear. Because to me, I would make a description of it's got a special apocalyptic finish. I know they don't let you write a lot of stuff on here, but you might put something because this knife was a Kickstarter, full to the great transition from insert skills, very attractive, great eager. This is a piece of a knife. Yeah, and if you sharpened it, you can say it's been lightly sharpened. If you haven't sharpened it, you can say still has factory edge. That means a lot to people. I would explain this finish a little more, and I would go back and take you some new pictures where you're off the knife a little bit, set it up as a square. What I do, I don't know if you've got an iPhone, but I go to my camera. This is when I take any Instagram picture, and I set the ratio, and it gives me then square 4:3 or 16:9, and I set it as a square. And then if I frame my picture against something that's not a loud background like you did and upload that picture, it should be the right format to where it doesn't clip any of that. And that's just nitpicky. People can tell what it is. Have you had anybody reach out for you? It's been lightning anode. See, I'd mention that. And I consider that in your pricing because even though mods cost us money to do, the market doesn't react to them. So anode, if I'm a collector, is taking the value down of the knife a little bit. I get anode knives all the time and get knives anode, but the collector, like if you're collecting Todd knife and tools, you're not going to want one that's been modded. It just takes the value down. Kind of like if you get a new Camaro and you change out the exhaust and you add lights, you do cool shit to it. We'll talk about like a 4-wheel drive. You add 36s to it, you lift it up, put a great sound system in it. The market's not going to appreciate that because, for one, the bank's not going to loan any more money on it because of that stuff. It's still a Ford F-150. So, just think about that. And the most important thing, dude, is I know you're not trying to be greedy, but on the other side, the reason I haven't sold my Tempest is don't sell it for less than you feel it's worth. The last thing you want is to sell it and have seller's remorse, right? If you've got seller's remorse, it's as bad as buyer's remorse. The difference with buyer's remorse is you can sell the knife, right? If you've got seller's remorse, you're kind of stuck with the fact that you let a knife get away from you. That's all I'd recommend. Take some different pictures, maybe adjust the price a little bit. But the other place I roll to, let's who wants me to roast their IG? We still got 20, 30 minutes before it's midnight. Let's go look at
Carco.
guessing 1-to-1 and it to be all truths. Yeah, Carco's right. And that's what I was showing. The square is 1-to-1, I think. And maybe I'd have to change it down, but I don't use Photoshop or anything, but I've never listed one. I've played with it. I've gone through it. But I've never actually listed one. But I just use my IG pictures because usually when I take an IG picture, if it's something I'm going to sell, I just take 3 pictures of it. That's a 3.5 inch, isn't it?
That is, and that's me and Carco did a trade, and that's what we traded. I got this.
I like
I
that.
love this knife. Oh, I love
the
this.
3-inch version.
So do I.
Now
That was
you
my
add
very
it to
first
it.
one.
But that's what I'm going to take. That's why, to get back to that subject I started earlier that I won't talk about anymore. That's why I want to take apart my Hinder. I want to see, because I want to take apart my Medford. All my Hinders have been money. And I'm sure with the full tie Hinder, it's going to come apart like that suspect one I did today that was the easiest disassembly, clean the washers, re-grease them, put back together that I've ever done. Absolutely off the chain. So I'm going to just start randomly pulling IGs. Have I shown you guys this knife?
Oh, I love that one.
The Michael Ziva.
That is so
spot.
cool.
The backspacer did it for me. And then when you open it, I don't know if y'all can see that. It's written in Latin. Some
That
weird
is
script.
cool.
Got a Jasonite M390 blade.
Oh, sweet. That's cool, Zacarco.
Yeah, I don't know what my next Hinderograph is going to be. I don't know what I was really interested in that 3-inch Eclipse. It had me thinking.
You should get one. I got one. I've had mine since it first came out.
These are ones I've got to put. You know how it goes. For me, I've got to kind of plan for that purchase. And probably like you guys, I make a lot of impulse buys. So the Sweeney was an impulse buy. The arcade was an impulse buy. Now my gut usually leads me right. I rarely sell knives. The Chickadee, the 20 CV Chickadee was an impulse buy. I had two. I've got an S90V, I've got an M390, but I didn't have a 20 CV. And I can tell you guys, I carry this little knife. I didn't even realize I had it on. I mean, that is how great this carries. So if I've got a modern folder in my right pocket and I've got a slip joint buried in my pocket and I've got a package to open or I've got some paracord to cut, it just makes sense that I'll reach down to my belt loop or my belt buckle and pull this out. It's so much easier to deploy, doesn't make any noise, doesn't scare people. I'm a big, big fan of small fixed blades, and I would urge any of you to go to White Mountain Knives and put in, if you're not sure about small fixed blades, they're not in stock today, or at least I don't think they are, but you can put in email me when they're back in stock, and you can grab one of these guys for $44, I think. Let me share it. But this was the first small fixed blade I got that made me realize, yes, I will carry it. This is S90V G10, 4.53 inches long. So it's about a 1/4 inch shorter than my Chickadee. They make it in black. They make it in orange G10. And then they make it in a couple of stag. And I like this snakewood, except the snakewood's Damascus.
Ooh.
The Damascus looks real good, but this is S90V, so I wanted S90V. And I wasn't crazy about the belt loop, even though it works well and you can do it horizontal. So I put an ulti clip on it or just a little strap. But the other Tucson fixed blade that I would recommend, if you're just thinking about an EDC fixed blade and you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want a good knife that's sharp, that cuts, this one right here. Yeah, this is my favorite. And I'll go get this knife and actually show it to y'all in size. This is about the size of the Chickadee. It's got these sculpted micarta handles. It's a Wong design. It's got an M390 blade. Nice little jimping. It's 5.43 inches with a 2.5 inch blade. Heat treated at 58 to 60. Yeah, that's not that hard. But guess what? For that money, I'm not going to use it hard just because I really don't. And the other ones I have 2 other Tucsons because they were so economical. And I was impressed. Like with every Tucson, I've luckily not gotten any Tucson goats. I've got the mini micro. This is tiny. N390. 4.8 inches. Let me grab a couple of these, and I'll show you the last one that I gave away. Somebody won this next one. Let's see it. That one. That one's 14C. It's $39.99. Little Tonto. Let me grab a couple of these real quick.
What's up, everybody? Here's a full track if anybody wants to see cool looking full track. Full track. And also because of the tool, put it right back in there. Just like that. I might carry this one tomorrow. I haven't carried this one in a while.
So somebody
Good
won
now.
this little guy. If you happen to be in here and you won this, I hope you're enjoying it. It's a great little knife. But the ones, just to give you the first one I showed you, the TS150, I love the little half track. Comes in this
I do
sheet.
too.
I did not use the little clip that came with it. On Amazon for $11.99, you can buy 2 of these straps, or for $20, you can buy 2 leather ones from Joe, Lancelot Leather. S90V, G10 handle, belt satin. And if we compare this in size to our Chickadee, we will see that it's much smaller than the Chickadee. So it's
Holy
a little
mackerel,
knife.
that is small.
About, if I can get it lined up, it's about, let's do it like this. That much smaller. But it's, you know, the handle is that much longer. But this is a great one. This was my first, and oh, I tried to put my Chickadee in there.
Junior Miz, I have 45 hinders.
This is the micro,
I'm almost to 50.
which is tiny, but that's in it's got a wicked compound grind blade, M390, kind of just like a little defense poker, because you've got this poon with jimping on it.
Ooh.
You could cut other stuff with it, but it's definitely a get your attention knife. And I just keep it with no belt loops. I just drop it in my pocket. And then my favorite is, I think this is the 247. We'll go back and look at this one, because this one is the drop point. It's got these nice scalloped micarta handles, full tang like all of them are. It's got this real nice jimping, and it's a little bit more, for some of you guys, usable size. It's about the same size as Chickadee, a little bit longer. And sharp. And I'm not trying to convert any of you guys to be fixed blade guys. I just really enjoy them. And I would have never thought, if we were having this conversation a year ago. Twang Thing wants to know if you finished your fixed blade, Brant. Oh, you
Yeah,
are.
yeah, I was trying to, yeah. I just gotta put holes in this. Once I do that, just gotta put the, I'm not gonna put anything on this one because this is pretty comfortable without it. I just gotta do some soft parts right here. Oh yeah, they're almost done. I just gotta get I gotta get this one heat treated, and then after that's heat treated, I'm gonna be, this is going straight to Rick Hinder because he's done a lot for me, and I want to do something nice for him.
That's cool, dude. I think that's very cool.
And then I got brown linen micarta, which this is just a little scrap piece. I might make a little something with this. But yeah, that's
Are
the
you gonna make a
color I'm
little
going to choose
pocket
for it.
stand?
I don't know. I might make something like that. I might do something cool.
Do a little worry stone type thing. Might be cool.
Yeah, I might do that. I might cut it in two.
So I know what I didn't do. No, Crispy Critter, it is not. I told y'all what I was carrying. I didn't ask Brant what he was carrying, and I don't think I got y'all's carries. And I know
Well,
it's
right
late.
now
Y'all might be carrying.
I was carrying my Eclipse one cliff because I have been carrying this ever since I gotten it.
That's nice. I didn't know that was an Eclipse.
Yeah, they came out a while back. This was actually, well, it was a gift by Rick Hinder himself and the crew and all that, because when you're really into the brand, they give you cool stuff. But this was a present to me and my dad because we did something nice for them.
Did your dad introduce you to Hinder, or did you introduce him to him?
I introduced him to him. I got into Hinder first before him, and this is my dad's collection of Hinder knives. He's got a couple
You
of good
guys
ones in here.
tell me. Let me get to the bottom of the chat. I'm down here where Dang Ross and Cheeto Bandita is. Ooh, XM18.
XM18.
What'd you kids carry? All right, Pretty Fly for a Knife Guy carried the Spider Koyo Jumbo and the Artisan Sea Snake and a Fox Yaru. How do you like the Fox? I've been eyeing that knife. And then Brother Double D10, good to see you, man. The Manix XL and the XOM. That's something I didn't show tonight.
Oh,
I picked up a Smoky Mountain Knives exclusive in Pines Peak carbon fiber XOM, and I love this little knife. I didn't think I would. I'd made fun of it. I reviewed A to Z's. I had his full size and his mini or his M. I didn't get it. I saw this. I bought it for some reason, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Pedro carried the Kershaw Link. That is a great knife. Knife Nut says Grambo knives, Russ, but I think he's having a conversation that I'd missed. Let me get that. Carry the Civivi Cogent. That is a fantastic knife. I had that for a while in my collection. I gifted it away. That is Acid Test Kids carried the Best Tech Lito. Nice, buddy. Is it a proto? Or is it just one that you came across? I did that with the DJRB More Malia. They did an Instagram post that they had some that were prototypes right around Blade Show. They were selling. I ordered one. I thought it was going to come right away. It took a couple of weeks. Brother Thomas carried the O knife Rubito 3. Scott B, the man, the myth, the legend, is still loving the Kaiser High harpoon. I've tried to get more like that, especially when I'm trying to review something, is carry it, carry it, carry it. I like that. Prototype V2.
this is a very rare. There's only 7 of these made.
Crispy Critter, that's a beaut. GEC 47 in Rosewood. I've got to learn how to identify them quicker without looking at my tubes. I'm embarrassed to say that I need to learn. Oh, I'm not embarrassed, but I need to learn a lot more about traditionals and Hinder. Junior Miz carried the Hogue Deca and the Spyderco Deca. But I've got a couple of Deca V1s that about a year ago I was talking to Marty at Original Goat, and I asked them if they did scales for the V1s because they're slightly different. They've got extra hardware, but there's also a little difference in the milling. And he said they didn't because they hadn't really thought about it. And I said, well, I bet there are a lot of people that have V1s that would be interested. And I sent him both these knives. I sent him my Warncliffe and my black drop point. They both had G10 on at the same time. And I let him keep them for like a year, from one blade show to the next, because I knew they wouldn't be able to get to them, but they were able to template them and offer them. And they hooked me up with an aluminum set of scales and a kind of gold dust painted aluminum
I
set of scales.
almost bought one of those.
Dude, I love them. I mean, the Decas of Night that I'd even forgot that they had. When those came back, Marty told me they were sending them back, and it was kind of a surprise to me. I'd forgotten about them. Patina Turner carried the Terrain 365 Invictus C.
Ooh.
Not even made out of metal. What is it called? Terravantium. Is it Terravantium?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Channel
It
member,
don't
what
even
is
rust.
up? Carried the Giant's Mouse Ace Nibbler and a Rosecraft Ajuda. Nice. The Nibbler's been, I'm a Giant Mouse collector. I love them. I don't have a Nibbler yet. Ooh, at least you has your Victorinox. I've traveled when I was working to Las Vegas for business for a week, and I couldn't take a knife because I was flying. And the second day there, luckily I found out I was staying the block next to PKW when they were still in business, or PKN. And I went down and I bought a Spyderco Delica just to carry for that week so I could get them to ship it back to me. And ended up selling it. Knife Nut, that was your carry. Okay, buddy. Let me go back and look at that. The Grambo Knives Rust. I've got to Google that. Sorry, guys. I've got to learn when I have to learn. I learned the coolest stuff from you guys. I spelled it wrong. God damn it. Hold on. Graham, B-E-O, okay. E-E-A-U, boom, boom, boom. Ooh, there's the rust. I should have just clicked on the rust. Let's look on it. You did say the rust, didn't you? Let me go back and look. Dude, I approve. I'm getting Spartan Kunwu vibes. As weird as that sounds, I'm getting the best of both of those. Let me look at this. And I'll have to, after we get through with the show, I'll have to look at. So thumb studs only. Isn't that clean, dude?
Oh my gosh, that's so...
$266.
Okay, I
8
may
and a
have to buy
quarter,
some. I may
hollow
have to buy
ground,
that.
M390, Best Tex, the OEM. Why don't I know about this stuff? I guess there are too many out there. I mean, I didn't even know about this stuff. Good carry, man.
That's smooth.
And thank you for opening my eyes, Knife Nut. I appreciate it more than you know. And I'm sorry for the rest of y'all. All right, you love the Scout F3 because I know where there's still a couple. And after I got the 2.5, again, I made some other decisions like the XO and the Berg blades and a couple of 3 GECs, but that F3, do you love it, Carco? Is it a little small for you? Do you? And you can tell me. I think it's great. I know Stasa loved it. I won't be able to see Carco's answer. Acid Test Kids, congratulations, buddy. That is awesome. I have only won one giveaway from KC, one giveaway from Jody, which is more than I deserve, but I've never won one of the, I take that back. I won a door prize at Nashville Custom Knife Show 2 years ago and got a Spartan Talos, a little G10. So this year, I dropped my ticket in there. They published me. I'm on their website as winning a Spartan God, it's a $289 fixed blade. Anyway, I called because I never got it, and they were like, oh, we couldn't find your address, so we shipped it to the next winter. That's what the people at 51 Productions said. They're like, dude, you shipped to me before. I wrote my address down. You've got my registration info. It put a bad taste in my mouth, so they said they'd give me free tickets for this year and do something else nice for me. I haven't gotten shit from them. I'm going to have to reach out because I'm going to go back. Roman M carried the non-flipper Arius, which is an absolute winner. I've been looking at the Mini. And Demonoc had the Chavez Liberation Street and Nimble and an A Purvis Blades Rook. I'm getting ready to film a bearing swap on my Chavez Street, which I've never taken apart, which will be an interesting either struggle bus video or a educational video. It looks like it'll come apart and go together pretty easily. But I've got the right size skiffs I ordered for this. Not that it needs them, but you know, some people tinker. I'll clean my knives. I'll put wax on the blade, wicked wax, and rub it off just because it keeps me doing something. That is, dude, Josh, that and the people that I've met through the journey. Pedro, I do have a Mini Loco. It is probably my number one. It or the Adamas is my hardest working Benchmade. This is a first production or prototype. I think it's first production. But the locks on it, the springs on it are different than anything. The blade stock, look at that for a Benchmade. Got that pistol grip. And I wondered, did they make a full-size Loco that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, they
This
did.
to me
That was the first one they did.
Knife. That's one of their first knives?
Yeah, that one of their, I think, yeah.
It's a great design. It reminds me in a very loose way, and it's just because of the handle of
Oh yeah, that was cool.
God, I absolutely love that knife. All right, Junior Miz, the Magna Cut Deca, bought it for under 110 during a sale. Killer deal. That is a killer deal. And both of my Decas, the two black ones, I bought at the same time, Black Friday last year. They're just 20 CV. They're G10, and I want to say I got them for 124 each. Crispy Critter, you didn't miss a thing, buddy. We've just been hanging out, dude.
That's all we've been doing. I love it.
Pitt, DM me, buddy. DM me a couple pictures. I might be able to help you with that. That is my favorite. What do you call that again? It's got letter designation.
The fire tech. Not fire tech. The fire. Oh, I gotta look it up again.
It's got a letter and a number in it. I remember that. It's the one that's like a 3.0. You told me like a 3.0 fixie, and you called it a hinder, and then it had a number or letter.
It's a flashpoint. It's called the flashpoint.
And they don't make it anymore?
They don't make these much anymore.
Would you say it's 6-7 inches? How long would you guess it was?
This is probably like 3-inch at least. Like, well, overall it's probably like 5 at least.
I love it.
I don't know.
Cheeto Bandito, channel member aka Soggy Bandito, has a TS300, which is a fantastic Tucson. An ORJ Warney. ORJ. Jason Grant Fixie. I know
classic.
Myco Stream, know what that is. All right. ORJ Warney. I know what that. Somebody tell me what that is. Ohio Riverjack. Thank you. I had to get my brain straight. Let me scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. I'm glad to see y'all talking to each other. So they're going to do a pre-order, or do they do drops, Knife Nut? And I'm sorry, but I'm going slow down the chat, so you probably answered me. Pedro, do you take anything? I'm wrought with panic. What's just one of my many lovelies that I live with in a professional world. I hate that for you, dude. It sucks. Carco, I bet it is, dude. It looks great, and I can tell you the 2.5 is amazing. Brother Todd Carr, channel member, what is up? The Leatherman Surge, the Gerber Dime and Shard, SD Classic, 3-inch carabiner knife, Cold Steel 8010, the Kaiser Escort and 20 CV, the QSP Parrot in 5th pocket, Olight, 1IR2, an i3T, an Open Mini, Papa Bear Knives, Pocket Lucky Fixie. I picked up, and I think I told you guys this before, I've been very light into multi-tools. I had a Skeletal because my whole thing about multi-tools, I love the plier. I keep it in my bug out bag, but I'm really into the bits. So I bought one that would accept bits, and I've got this little holder that carries my different bit kits, and it locks them in there. And then I got this little thing off Amazon for 31 bucks. It's a mini ratchet that you can put a full quarter size bit in. So if you carry like I do, your bits, I carry my bits in the field in this little titanium CountyCom box. But you can put a regular bit in there. And what's great about it, let me get my Skeletal. Well, all right, I'm going to take out. So I replaced the Skeletal with my, this is called the Leatherman. Think, Tigger, think. It's called the, not the Signal.
Wave.
No, Charge Plus.
Oh, chart. Oh, well, I'll
Nothing
show you this
special
one
about it.
up
It's just
there.
got a 154 cm blade, and it's got a 440 CHD on the skinning blade. So when you go to your screw, where it's got these little flat screws that I've got a bit kit that has like 30 of them in every size that I still use in most cases. But if I need to really work on a knife or something, this little ratchet slides in the end there. So once it slides in the end, it's got the little directional switch where you can go tighty, slide it over to loosey. You can stick your 1/4-inch bit in there, and man, this gives you everything you need to get a stuck Torx bit to do. I mean, it's really cool. And this little thing was an Amazon find. It is called RAE gear, Ray gear, and what it is it's this little shell. It's a little metal shell, but if you look at it, you can see that it's got that little swoop-de-doo in there. I don't know if you can see. It's got a little piece of metal that kind of kicks out. See that, Brant?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In between that? So what it does is when you push in your bits, it gives them mega retention because it locks them in. Well, this little holder is made for the bit extender that Leatherman sells, but I picked up this instead, and it's magnetic. So that's not going anywhere. And this little kit, and it didn't come with the bits. It was just the holder for the bits, but it's got 2 different belt things that you could clip it on your belt. I clip it in my bug out bag to one of the straps because, again, I don't carry it for just everything. But I'm kind of embarrassed to say, too, Lefty EDC is the one who influenced me to try this out. He didn't try to. He just told me he had one and he really liked it. And he wasn't usually into multi-tools. But the tools that it's got, I love. It's got scissors. Little spring-activated scissors that are super sharp. And all of these tools lock. So you got this little thing on the back that you push. And then it's got a little sun or eyeglass. It's got a regular screwdriver. And it's got an eyeglass screwdriver. But you got to dig in there to get it. See that little guy? That little poker. And then when you flip it over, I'm always afraid I'm going to pinch the bejesus out of myself. But you've got this one hand open 154 CM blade that locks. And then you've got on the other side this blade that's a rescue blade. It's serrated.
Oh, that's
So it's
so
a seatbelt
cool.
cutter. And then what's really cool is you've got this diamond file and this wood file. I've already used the diamond file. Diamond on one side, wood kind of coarse on the other side. And then finally, it comes with a saw. It wouldn't be.
Those are just so cool.
And it's got one of those just super toothy saws. But again, it locks. So everything locks. And the great thing about the way these lock is they've just got like a little liner lock on the outside. On the ones on the inside, it's just got a little spring right here that you push on the back to get the tools to go back in. But I'm sorry about getting sidetracked. Let's go further. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Dang, Ross, do you want the trainer, buddy? I guarantee you that there will be trainers available. I bet those kits will be available because that's such a one purpose or a couple of purpose knife. But it's one of those things that make knife collecting fun. I like the crazy stuff. What's that, acid test kids? What did I miss? Oh yeah, about Nashville. It happens, dude. I don't think they did it intentionally. I don't think they tried to find me because my email address is on there and they published me. But I don't fault anybody for it. I'll tell y'all, I think I did. I don't know if y'all know this, but I also got scammed because I'm an idiot. And I don't think I did a video, but on live I talked about it. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. There's a fake website out there that if you search for a specific knife, I searched for the Vox Chilling, and I do digital marketing. I tell you guys that. So I'm responsible for getting sites to the top of Google. I'm responsible for doing shit like that, right? I know how those levers work. Well, this site organically, which means they weren't paying for ads, but they were organically pulling up in the top 5. So I'd never heard of the company. It was called foxblade.com. And I was looking for a Fox Chilling. So I went there. They had the Fox Chilling for $96. Way too cheap. This is like 6 o'clock in the morning. So if I had looked at the site closer, and I'll tell you guys that it wasn't a limited problem because a bunch of us reported it. It finally went away. It took about 3 or 4 weeks. And on one of Tri-State's Sunday morning shows, he was surfing and came across a totally different site that was the exact same scam by the same people. But what happened is I put it in my cart and I went to check out, and you could only check out with PayPal. So I checked out with PayPal because I was about to grab 2 of them. But I grabbed one, checked out with PayPal, and it diverted to friends and family. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm still asleep. I'm thinking, what? That's weird. I went ahead with the purchase. Huge red flag because I called PayPal right afterwards. They couldn't do shit. So, because it had a guy's name, Michael something, and I'm sure it was a fake name. But anyway, I immediately got a receipt or a confirmation saying that I was going to get this shipped to me. And it was some weird little kitchen set of like different colored plastic knives. And I was like, okay, I've been scammed. Something's going to show up that's just sketchy. And it wasn't, nothing showed up. I mean, I literally got scammed for about $100, and I'm sure everybody else did. And the funny thing was, if you looked at it closely, you would see that the pictures were scraped from Blade HQ's site. It even had behind them the logo, but I was only seeing that price. And I'm a very educated, smart, savvy guy, and I fell for it. I am looking. Are you going back to sleep? Crispy night, buddy. We're not going to be here much longer. I'm going to try to get 3 hours and get us a little bit past midnight. The Kaiser Mittal is really good. That is a great looking knife. I missed a chance to buy that when it showed up on White Mountain Knives. I'm glad you got it too, buddy. I'm still trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody's carry. I hear you, my man. The Titius. Very nice. and Iron Forest Remix. Nice, buddy. I don't mind small fixed plates, but I do prefer the ones you can get a full grip on. And that's absolutely true. Todd, for me, the first fixed plate I bought was an SE3 and S35. And it was it was big for an everyday carry for me. But I'm just as happy with like this TKL Combatant, which is a good bit bigger than any of my Tucsons and much bigger than my Chickadee, right? And I can carry this just as concealed. It's just that all of them have different uses, and I'm an addict, admittedly so, and I'll see shit I like and I just buy it. I can't stop. It's not constant. It's not a problem. It's not causing me problems, but it's pretty freaking. I buy stuff I don't need. That's pretty cool. Todd Carl, need to check that out. I love Brant Cheeto. Cheeto Bandito's giving you some love. Vince was in here earlier. I don't see Dopey. Dopey and Vince and Grateful Panic live together now in Huntsville. There you go. That's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, this is a
Hey,
Kershaw
Kit Mateo.
Whiplash.
I love you, buddy, and I appreciate you.
I'm trying to find the small brother to it. Can't find it.
Did you really, Thomas? Good for you that you saw the Blade HQ picture. So see, it's not just Fox. The way that, and I try to look at it from a search engine marketing guy, right? And I thought the only way that they could trick that, because you've got to get Google to see the relevancy in your site, and Google would never see a site that didn't have anything legit. So I don't know if when they scraped Blade HQ site, they were also scraping some of their metadata to show the traffic. I don't know, but it made no sense because you're the second person, and that's a concept. And the knife that we were looking for on Cole's show was a different one. They had used the same Blade HQ logos because we compared them, but they had taken out the logo. Okay, so there's another one. Are they still up? Sportknifeshop.com. I'm gonna pull that because, dude, they're coming up everywhere. That's what I tell you guys. Buyers beware. And if it
There's
looks
one
too
for
good to be
Hinder
cheap,
Knife,
if it looks too good to be true, it probably is.
and there's one for
Yeah, they're
Hinder
not
Knife
coming up
too.
anymore. See, and then they'll abandon the domain after a while. But that's exactly what they got me for $100, and I was Demonoc. We're about to bounce too, buddy. Thank you so much for hanging out, Donald. Carried the Kaiser Soze and the Best Tech Cedius and the Cold Steel 8015. One of my favorite locks, the Scorpion lock. I love that lock. I think it's the fidgetiest knife. I remember I thought Lefty was an idiot when I first started walking him, and he hated that knife. That's before I realized that was kind of his deal.
Mhm.
Thomas says that looks like a larger chive, Brant. What was that called that you just held up with the serrated, partially serrated?
That is it's called the Whirlwind, I think it is. I don't remember the name, but
The handle looks
this
like
has
a blur.
kind of, but it's super very, very thin. But this was actually on the show Supernatural. If you look very closely, it's on there. And this knife was on there.
That's pretty cool. Well, Brant, do you have any parting words, buddy? It's getting late. I think everybody's tired.
Hashtag International.
You look tired. Hashtag Big Red 10K. Guys, who else was I gonna? I know what I want to put in the chat, and it would make me warm if y'all have time and you're not subscribed. If you went over and subscribed to Rob's Nerdy Knives, and I only say that because he's a nice guy. I only know him through chatting with him when I'm in his lives. I enjoy his lives. They're different. They're not like my lives, they're not like anybody. Nobody's lives are the same, but they're very low spoken, very peaceful, very engaging. And his link is right here. And if y'all wanted to really do a solid, leave him a comment and say that Javon was talking him up. I want to help other people grow too and help you guys find kind of cool channels. But guys, I appreciate y'all more. Brand, I appreciate you coming up, buddy. I'm sorry I kept forgetting to grab the phone.
It's all right, buddy.
You call me, I'll hear it ring. So if you ever in the future,
Yeah.
just ring me up, buddy. I'll take your call.
I
I've
will
got you
do
in my
that.
phone. But guys, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. I'll get some stuff ready for Friday night getaways. There should be a video coming out middle of the week. So y'all look for that. And know I love every one of you. Mainly look out for each other. And please choose debate, not hate.